It was the
I feel
friends that made
closer to
it.
all of you.
And with that, I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Everybody say hi.
Hello.
Welcome to It's a Long Story, our tri-weekly campaigns, plural. We have 3 campaigns that go on 3 times a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is obviously our Wednesday group, the lovable Mongoose crew. We are jumping in from the aftermath of the attempted destruction of the underwater nation city metropolis of I just forgot the name. Oh, here it goes. Now we're going to say Honoria. Thank you.
But Tritons are superior, so we are, great, and we're fine.
But you managed to make it through with the help of your non-Triton.
Yeah, but we directed them on what to do. So, come on.
That is simply not true. But cool. With that, let's get the full run-in of where we left off. Royal Scribe.
All right. So we last left off with Wilbur with the Enerath family holed up in Corvos's office as things are happening in Honoria. Guar, Norris, and Milo went off to go, do some stuff with bombs and Ixachitl, and they all come back safely. Guar came back with 50 Ixachitl, and they bowed to him, which he did not let anyone forget. Milo came back with 40 Ixachitl, but had Quetzal, so maybe a little bit more important than Guar, who knows. And then Norris came back with 72 of them.
They weren't as important as my 50.
So after that, as soon as Norris comes back, Eldred and Norris have a moment outside when he returns, while it was a very sweet thing while her parents kind of watched and realized that she's going to be fine, from the window to the wall. And anyway, then we switch over to Saren, who is trying to grab Volmos's arm, but her hand passes through his, so she realizes she's is ethereal the right word? I mean, she did come from the ethereal plane, so anyway.
You know what you mean.
What?
Incorporeal?
Incorporeal, yeah, whatever. She's a ghosty. And then so poor Volmos is grabbed and pulled into the darkness, and Saren is able to follow and basically sink down to the bottom and recognizes the person who is dragging Volmos. At first, it was hard to recognize him because he was sparkly blue textured with silvery mist, which matches the blue magic that she has in her in a bottle in her backpack. But she realizes it's Raylor, but he doesn't recognize her. And it's very sad. So after that, Raylor kind of like goes away because Saren uses fire on him, and sorry, I'm jumping around. So Raylor ends up dropping Volmos and escapes, and then Saren sits and watches Volmos make death saving throws because she's not really sure what to do, and she's maybe thought that, hey, this is a win in my book. If I have to give this soul to Venisepa, who knows? So back to the Corvus's office. Everyone is in there except for Eldrin and Noros. Corvus ends up, once we hear this explosion, ends up running out of the room and going to check everything out. Guar told Milo to go follow Corvus because he was trying to protect the children, who also Illirin did protect as well. She just had a lower initiative than Guar. So when we go back down from the office, Milo runs into some guards and also hears Quetzal basically insinuating that the bomb that went off was not his, and Milo assures him that, they'll figure everything out. So we get back inside with Eldred, Noros, and Milo, and they go down into the dungeon, and Milo and Eldrin and Noros end up getting into the cell. And so then Milo and Noros end up going down the big creepy hole to catch up to Saren. And when they see her, it's kind of creepy and scary. So Milo calls on his good buddy Orin. Unfortunately, Orin is super freaked out by Saren. And when speaking privately to Milo, insinuates that Saren and Orin have made a deal with the same person, and that Saren has the power to take anyone she comes into contact with from this plane, and that he refuses to be around when Saren is. So that's cool. So Milo, Noros, and Saren come back up, bringing Volmos back to Eldrin. Some things are explained to Eldrin, and Eldrin tells Saren she needs to get back to her body, and that if she can't, Eldrin will handle things, which insinuates Eldrin will destroy her in a very cleric way. And then Noros kindly messages Ilrin to request her and Guar to meet in Eldrin's room, which leads to Guar and Ilrin having the most awkward / forced conversation ever while waiting. More awkward on Guar's side, forced on Ilrin's side. Guar tried his damn best. She gave nothing.
Did.
He really did. So when Eldrin, Noros, and Milo get back up to from the dungeon, Eldrin distracts her father while Noros and Milo carry Volmos a secret way to Eldrin's room, and she does tell them not to enter the room until she opens the door and lets them in, because she doesn't want to traumatize her mother before telling her, hey, we're bringing this guy that looks like your dead son in.
Yeah.
So Corvos,
I'm ready
as
for that
Eldrin,
one. Just FYI,
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
As Corvos is being kind of distracted by Eldrin, he realizes the dungeon was attacked and leaves Eldrin to go check that out so that she can, and then she goes to her room. Saren does ghosty things and goes up through the floors and the walls and stuff like that, and makes it to her body. Basically, everyone but Navos passes out from fear, including Wilbur, and Gerard is not happy at all with this situation. But Saren's able to make it back into her own body, but unfortunately her body feels more like a costume than her own skin, so that's cool. And I think that was it.
It's pretty much where we ended.
Yeah.
Well, gang, let's my wife is gone.
Well, she passed out, just like
Oh,
Wilbur.
that's right. She's just playing the role.
Miranda, this is role playing, not what's the other one?
LARPing.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I have bad allergies today.
This isn't LARPing, Miranda.
Come on, Miranda.
Who says?
Unbelievable.
Who
Who
says?
says?
Who says?
Oh my gosh! Next time we play, can you please be in a full Wilbur costume?
Hope that
Just
doesn't
get like the onesies and like put whiskers on your face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna shit on camera then. 20 times
There we go.
every
Doesn't it-
hour.
I was gonna say every hour.
Gigi Allen?
Lady. Wow.
No. She's not smearing it on herself.
I don't know if
That's
this is
valid.
the Adderall like kicking in, but I can't keep up with how many zingers just happened there. There were so many right there. All right, let's rein in, you rascals.
So we have the party split right now. We have Wilbur and Saren in Corvus's office, and then
Correct.
the rest of us in Eldrin's room.
Cool. Yep.
Well, we're not
I-
quite in your room, right?
Well, yeah, you two aren't in my room yet. You better not be in
We're
my room.
walking
You
up.
better listen to my directions.
You're in
Oh,
the
yeah.
creepy sort of crawl space that exists.
Yeah, you and Noros aren't. Cor and my mom are.
We're hanging out. We're bonding, whether she wants to
I
or
would
not.
say I think as you hear the awkward conversation that is going on behind the wall, you Milo, and obviously Noros would too, but like you Milo recognize, okay, cool, we're right here. We just need to push open this wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noros knows where he's going. He's used that secret passage a few times.
Unbelievable.
Does it have to be secret?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he was a commoner. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yes. Very cool. So we're gonna start. I think we're gonna start with Saren. Saren, you I would like a roll, and I'm going to tell you what it is once I see your sheet. I would like a nature roll.
Okay. Well,
With a 12, you're moving your hands and feeling this body kind of move with you. It feels like there's probably about a maybe a quarter of a second, like especially as a rogue, like every millisecond counts in your reactions to things. It feels like you're off by a few milliseconds. You notice that you're able to move your hands and feet. You can wiggle toes, wiggle fingers. You feel like you can even move your mouth when you're talking, but you don't feel like you have to. You also feel like you're connected with your body in ways of being able to move everything, but sensory wise, you are sensing things as a incorporeal figure, we'll say. You currently have disadvantage on all of your dexterity checks. So anything involving dexterity. At this moment, you collect yourself. You see Gerard kind of in the corner as Wilbur's probably coming to in this moment. I would actually say this. Wilbur, give me a perception check of just waking up. I'm sure there's another roll for that, but whatever. Just give me that.
Not one.
Fantastic.
For a
You
total
are
of
fully
8.
still. You are stable but totally unconscious. Good start. You see Gerard is looks confused and angry at you. I'd say just natural reaction. You kind of put a hand out to where you normally are able to kind of like touch the neck, and you see him just snarl and nip at you as soon as you put your hand anywhere near him.
Should we just say, Gerard, it's me. What's wrong?
I would like you to roll me a straight animal handling check.
16.
16. Okay. Can you tell me Gerard's wisdom modifier right now?
+2.
Okay, cool. You see him stop growling. Still kind of backed off, still a little skittish from you, but seems to like go and like sniff your hand. And you can tell your hand, even in this moment, I will say you have lost like textural understanding. So you still like legitimately feel like it is a Weekend at Bernie's thing. You can't feel, you can grip things, but you can't feel what they feel like. I will say most likely in this moment, your sense of smell is gone. And if it comes up, your sense of taste is probably gone too. Hearing and eyesight, totally intact. You see him kind of sniff the hand, kind of back off, and you hear just a slight whimper from him, as we are not sure whether he's a dog or a cat. Wilbur's still fully conked out. I think you just see another poop cube come out. Just...
Can she go over to Wilbur and try to like kind of shake him awake?
How do you wake up Wilbur?
goes over to him and puts her hand on his shoulder and like shakes him.
Okay, cool. I would say because a nat 1 means you have to violently shake Wilbur to kind of awaken. So you're moving your head, your like whole body to try to like wake up this large wombat. Wilbur,
And
you
my
wake
youngest
up.
brother is just watching all this, right?
Yep, totally. Just I would say he's
Cool.
not even watching.
Okay.
He has summoned his cat just in case Saren does turn around and does want to play with the cat.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he's just some. I'm gonna roll for how bad this cat looks. Okay, not terrible. I'd say probably like 2 eyes. I'd say both eyes are actually directly in the front rather than on like the side. So just like a little too.
Honestly, it's for the best that Ladrin and Anrin are passed out, probably.
Yeah. So in this scene, Wilbur, you do wake up to a Saren who's trying to think of how to explain the visual of this. Wilbur, as you're being shaken awake, as you're opening your eyes, you're seeing a corporeal Saren, like a dead face, move forward to you, and then a ghostly face switch places and go back and forth as Saren is literally doing this, and both faces are kind of like mismatching. It's pretty.
I'm not
gross and
gonna do
terrifying.
it, but Wilbur will let out the biggest, most terrified scream
Okay.
ever.
Nat 1 on the other 2 waking up, so that's pretty funny. Navos like backs up to like the corner of the wall, but probably just annoyed that someone was yelling. Yeah, you both see each other in this moment.
Wilbur, it's fine, I think. Are you okay?
Get away from me! What the fuck? Ugh. Where's Saren?
I'm right here.
As you see, Saren has stopped like violently moving her head back and forth. It's settled in, so it does look like Saren.
Damn it, I want to get out of the water.
You actually say that?
Yes. I fucking hate it down here.
You and me both. And Gerard, I'm sure.
What did you do?
What?
Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm really like crying, but I'm trying not to laugh.
I signed a contract. I don't know what it said.
Why?
What the hell was that thing? Because
Why would you do that?
so we both weren't stuck in wherever the hell we were. What was that
What
thing?
does your contract say? What do you have to do?
Okay, so I couldn't read it and I wanted to get the hell out of there, so I don't know exactly. But big creepy guy wants me to take a soul every day.
God, are you gonna kill me?
I'm not. No, Wilbur, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing either.
So hard not to laugh.
No.
So you have to murder someone every day.
I mean, we kind of do that already, so I
No,
figured
we
it
don't.
would be fine.
We
Well,
really don't.
Like all the bad people, right? Like, it'll be fine. I hope. Who did I sign a contract with? Because you seemed like you knew what was happening, and I very much still don't.
You guys hear a pop behind you as Navos has fully gotten rid of his cat in the hearing of, well, we kind of kill someone every day. He's
I
paying
forgot about
attention now.
Navos.
He is 10 years old, you two. 10 years old.
He's
We
really
don't
weird.
kill someone
I
every
think
day.
this
We
is-
really don't.
There's just a hard cut that while we're looking at Saren explaining these things going on, you see like the limp bodies of Anrin and Ladrin just being pulled by Navos just slowly, like, okay, we're gonna just pulled further from Saren to the other side of the room. Just in the background as you're talking.
But
What happened to them?
I don't know.
Eldred's gonna kill you.
I didn't do anything to them.
They're not dead yet. They're just unconscious. I could wake them up, but I think maybe we should just wait.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Wilbur, there is a moment where you think about the idea of contracts, and you look down at your hands as you see the kind of like crackling energy, fully being aware that you are back in full form. You realize that shouldn't be based on the contract that you signed. And you at least understand some validity of what Saren is saying, that recognizing that if Saren did not do this, you most likely would be moved on.
Okay. So maybe Saren saved Wilbur. I think Wilbur at this point would say, I don't really know much about Venesepa at all. To be honest, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to sit down and get to know everyone. So I don't know what you've gotten yourself into, Saren, but having to kill someone every day sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't love the idea, but I think that was our only way out of there. So we're both here, so I guess I'll have to deal with it.
Just quick explanation. That is the first time you've heard the name. Saren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Saren did ask. She just like assumed that was Wilbur's answer to who the hell was this guy.
Right. I will say, Saren, roll me an insight check on yourself at that name.
Okay. 15.
15. Nice. You didn't say the name, you heard it. And even hearing the name, you feel a noticeable this might be an ironic and maybe hurtful word, but you notice a like almost like a psychic sort of shudder in your mind at that word, at that name, excuse me. I think you get with a 15, this is not a name that would be good to repeat. I'd say with a 15, honestly, actually, because you guys have spent a lot of time with enemies that specifically really love having their name being said. At least Tall. Like, most of Tall's existence seems to thrive on the idea of the word being spread. You get the exact opposite sort of feeling with this name. I would say also with that, you feel the shudder and you know that there's some sort of connection that you are bound to, whether that's the entity itself or the ethereal plane. But you feel like it is unlikely there is a place for Saren to hide from this entity.
So when Wilbur says it, she like shudders and says, "Don't say his name again. I don't think we should say it out loud."
Okay. Yep, you got it. I don't really know who else can help us in navigating whatever you've signed and what has come to be other than Cerilius. What does he want from you other than to kill people?
Well, he wants the souls, and he also kind of wants Tall. Like, not for us to kill him, but he wants him alive or something. I don't know.
I don't remember if we rolled this last time, but I'll say with the 15 that you have, this is a being of death. So the difference is understanding that, like, and this is extremely confusing, right? Like, is it like, if he's alive, then therefore couldn't you, like, can you claim a live being the, like, essentially the god of death, or being death itself? I think with a 15, you get the feeling that that there is probably a process that involves ending his life, but it doesn't stop there.
Yeah, I didn't know how to phrase that, but what you said.
I would say like fully, it's not like you don't. The simple way to say it, it doesn't seem like you need to claim him. Like, you don't need to keep him alive for anything.
Okay. Just send his soul to he who shall not be named.
Okay. I don't know. Seems weird. But thank you for getting me safely out of wherever we were.
I wouldn't have left without you. I made that very clear that we would both get back here safely, and don't know how safe we are, but at least we're here. Should we go find Eldrin and the rest of them?
Yeah, where is everyone?
She knows they went to Eldrin, right?
Saren knows that, because Eldrin was like, "Go figure out your own shit while I go to my room to figure out my stuff."
I think also Wilbur knew, because Wilbur passed out. So Wilbur was awake from everything in Saren. Obviously, Miranda had to leave early, but you both know most likely where the rest of your party is.
Should we just tell them they took Volmos, or fake Volmos, whoever he actually is, to Eldrin's room?
You told anyone?
Saren, I think there is a look of shock and pain as you realize who's in this room.
No, she doesn't actually.
You said it.
God damn it.
It's okay.
What? That's
I-
you said Volbos. That's my brother's name.
She meant
Oh,
almost.
yeah, it's not your brother. It's somebody else. Eldrin will explain it later.
Roll me a deception check. I'm going to say a straight roll as Wilbur is helping you with it. Otherwise, it would be disadvantage.
It's not your brother. Your brother's dead, you dumb 10-year-old.
Well, actually, like honestly, he would have just straight up been like, "Well, no, that can't be true. My brother's dead." Like I think
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
understands the word. I think, like, or like he obviously understands the concept too, but like it's easy
Yeah.
for him to say the word because he hasn't connected it to the concept really. I don't
Yeah.
think as a 10-year-old.
17.
He was younger, yeah, when he died, so.
17.
Mhm.
What did I roll? I actually
I
forget.
have to roll 2.
No, you were giving Saren advantage to
Okay.
her disadvantage. Okay. He seems to be like, oh, okay. But I think he's so freaked out by this moment that you are unsure of whether or not he's believing you or just intimidated by you. Gear up, Saren. You're gonna get this a lot. Right now, at least. All right. Is there anything else you guys say? to each other? There is a weird feeling, I think, of, and this may be imagined just in the DM's mind. You guys are connected now. You both have a contract that legitimately affects your lives. It's a little harder on Saren, but Wilbur, you feel, I think it's fair to say, and you guys agree with me, I think there's a bond here.
Mhm.
I think I got the better end of the deal. The worst that can happen to me is I could just die and never come back.
Yeah. But I think also, like Wilbur, you do feel in full force. Like Cerilius would definitely know at least more information. You're not sure if Broomhilda would. She hasn't really shown to know much information about the other planes.
Also, I
Seems
feel
like
like
Cerelia
Broomhilda
targeted
would
her.
just like freak out, like just full on freak out, and would not be helpful.
Yeah,
Broomhilda would? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Broomhilda would.
Why? Have I painted her like a loose cannon in any way?
I mean, no, not Broomhilda. She's the most stable person in this thing.
I feel like she'd have a similar reaction that Eldrin had to me being a ghost.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Like,
you guys
I
need to
will
stop
tell
talking
you.
about Guar's future wife here. It's very rude to him.
Speaking of Guar, we have this very funny scene, I think, that happens here as Eldrin, you are standing in front of your own bedroom door. And you can't help but hear the uproarious laughter of your tall, loudmouth friend from the other side. As both of you, I think, in a weird way, the party, I think it's just like kind of like a top-down view for a second, as there is a viewpoint of the secret passageway that Volmos, Noros, and Milo are standing and listening on one side of the wall. And Elgin, for a second, I think you just pause for a second and wonder what in the world could they be laughing about.
Yeah. Volmos is not standing. He's unconscious.
Oh, correct. Yes, unconscious, being held. Guar, what is Guar laughing about?
I mean, Guar's probably just laughing at the absurdity of the whole thing. You know, just like he's laughing to break the tension. He's laughing because it's ridiculous. He's laughing because no one is around to see how ridiculous this is. And, you know, I think like typical Guar fashion, he misses his friends and he just wants to. But I would also imagine he's just laughing because like this is a rare moment for him of like not being, I don't know, psychically or spiritually like fucked up. He's just having an awkward conversation and that's it. And it's like, I can handle this. So
I will say too, like, obviously not all the time. That's been very clear, especially in realms where you're not considered to be a sexual partner. But most women,
I don't understand.
yes, most you do, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you do get the feeling that like most women are easier to talk to than this.
For sure.
So as you're laughing, I rolled on Elrond's response. I'm sorry. Was there a joke somewhere? Did you? Are you laughing at
Highness.
the wall? Is there?
Oh no, in a manner of speaking, perhaps. No, Highness. It's not you. I just sometimes I just laugh at myself because I know I can be quite silly. It's how I get through all of the murder and destruction of things.
Oh, okay, I understand. So you need to have that to be able to feel okay with what you've done.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm going to roll a separate roll because that is a coping mechanism.
Well, and especially like a little retcon or like a kind of not a retcon, but like a background information kind of thing, because Guar has done so many horrible things. It probably was a defense mechanism for him, and now he's kind of learning, like, and he's doing these things now where he actually does feel okay about it. But this awkward conversation is reminding him of like doing something that he's not really comfortable with, but he also recognizes how ridiculous it is. So it's like a new kind of like defense mechanism.
Fair,
So,
I love that. I will say, and I'm going to try really hard not to just constantly derail our campaign, but I have a very trusted friend that has done work with police as a like I forget what you would call it, but essentially like a police chaplain. That when anyone who has to deal with extreme trauma of seeing and being involved in extremely violent things, they all have like different ways to cope, and some are considered healthier than others. This is a very real thing that people do. So yeah, her response. That's what changed. That's what made me re-roll, because I was like, yeah, actually, that's a good one. Her response really goes, "Oh, I understand. Many of my battalion have done that in the past. I don't personally find it works, but I get it."
And Highness, I'm sure you've led many people, but for me, it's so important to keep the morale of the troops up, and myself included. And so that's just the way I've found the most effective in keeping spirits high.
Interesting.
In
I
dire
usually
circumstances.
find the honor and glory of Honoria to be enough for most of my battalion, but
Well, I mean, look at this. Of course. I mean, if I had this to fight for, I would feel the same way. I mean, I did not come from such glorious means, so I completely understand.
She kind of makes a realization in that moment, and she looks at you and goes, "Well, Guar, correct? Do you have a last name, sir?"
I do.
Okay.
I'm extremely proud of it, because I don't. It's had a pretty.
I don't need to hear the full story. I was just going to try to greet you in the honor that you deserve.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
You have fought for Honoria, and while a public ceremony will most likely not happen, as there are some things that are extremely embarrassing for the.
Damn it!
What was that?
Nothing. Continue, Highness.
I just want to say thank you for being there for all of Honoria.
Highness, it is my highest. It is the highest calling of mine to protect the innocent and to stand up for what is right. And I'm honored for your acknowledgement of that. But I also just want you to know this is what I would do regardless. But thank you. And I bow.
Yes, well, the honor and glory of Honoria most likely helped you through in getting there. Eldrin,
Of
you
course.
can come in as your
Yeah.
yeah. As your
Eldrin
mother
comes in.
always seems to know when you're in front of the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eldrin walks in and closes the door. And before she is going to alert to Norris and Milo they can come in. She waves to Guar. Actually, as Guar's doing that, she just goes,
Was that?
I know you're happy to see me.
Was there a secret thing there? If you need me to step
No.
out, I can.
There's a secret
No.
thing in here?
No. I need to explain something to you before
Just us.
Norris and Milo. Before Norris and Milo, who you now have heard, come in, I need to explain
what?
something to you.
They're here?
Guar, can you not talk for like 1 minute?
Be on my honor, your royal highness.
Thank you.
See?
Mother, what I'm about to do is going to seem very, very cruel. And I want to apologize in advance.
I'm very concerned with what the end of this is going to be, considering you didn't even ask or warn me for. Proceed.
I just want you to know that I have reasons for what I'm about to do, and I need you here, and I'm sorry. And then I say, Milo, Norris, you can come in.
Oh, thank God. How is it muggy underwater? How did you do that?
Wait, have you been here the whole time?
Noros takes this opportunity. Actually, no, because I think he'll go like, oh yeah, it can be the word. Never mind. As you all climb in, it like stops immediately what he's saying as soon as he sees Elrin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you hear the whole? You heard the whole thing.
Volmos's face is covered because Milo put his cloak or something over it.
Yeah.
So I'm
my
assuming
cloak over.
Noros will probably lay him down, and I'm going to look at my mother.
Well, this is not a child, which was my first thought.
I'm gonna take the.
No, I'm a halfling. We've met.
Okay. You take the rag off of Volmos's head. I would say everyone in here would need to roll an insight check, but I think truly it's not going to match Eldrin's insight check. So please roll an insight check at advantage, with advantage on your mother.
Would be 25.
Oh, I was just say I got a dirty 20. Okay, fine.
I will say with this, if it is pertinent for Guar to hear this, I would say that most of it is what you recognize, besides everything that would be familiar, because you're not Ilrin's daughter.
Wait, what?
What?
Actually, I kind of gave away a big part of it. Yeah, you're not Ilrin's daughter, Guar.
That was
Sorry.
gonna be the end game, Joe.
That was gonna be
Let's just stop playing now. God damn it.
And start over. I'm gonna mute myself.
You see your mother. A rainbow of emotions flash before her eyes, and I think with a 25, you see shock. You see, in this order, so I would say you see shock. You see a full sag in the shoulders as an emotion softens just for a second and immediately hardens back up. You see her look to the door, and with a 25 insight check, recognize that she is not one to run from a conflict, and that is the only thing that is keeping her here. She looks at you with a look of something that you haven't really seen from your mother before. You've seen anger, you've seen something that even came close to hate from your mom. You see a look of shock, as if you had stabbed her in the heart. She stays put. She doesn't move. She doesn't back off. She is a warrior after all. She can handle these conflicts no matter what they are. And obviously, your warning at least gave her the understanding that this must be important.
Okay.
She gathers herself, fully pulls herself back into a somewhat more rigid version of your mom, if that's even possible.
Okay.
As she fully bottles up any emotion that you saw, and you're the only one that really saw that. I would say with Guar, you see a look towards the door. You see a look of anger, of some sort of like smaller versions of those things, and I think actually Guar. Part of the insight check that you do is with Ilrin, right? Trying to kind of understand Ilrin. But I think there's a possibility that you actually start to glean something different from it, as someone coming close to reclaiming a family member. And I think that
Damn
resonates
right.
deep within you.
Yeah.
Eldrin notices all this in her mother, opens her mouth to say something, but then closes it and gets her own resolve in that moment, and turns to Guar and says, can you heal him? I just need him to be conscious.
Of course.
Do you walk over to touch him?
Yeah. Anything for you, oh glorious majesty.
You take one step towards him. Your mother shoots you a look fast that tells you very clearly, like, do not touch him. Like,
I would say,
idiot?
I look back to Eldrin.
I ignore that. I say, Norris, Guar, once you do, please stay on him. And if he makes any movement towards either of us, put him down.
Would be my pleasure. To protect you, not to kill your brother or whoever this is, but you know.
She is no longer looking at you or anyone else. She's staring at a spot on the wall.
Milo tightens his grip on his quarterstaff.
And I cast Cure Wounds. That is.
It doesn't.
That is 5
Actually,
plus
yeah, give it to me anyways.
Is a total of 9.
Okay. Oh. Slowly looks up. Your Majesty.
Eldrin takes off the dagger that Guar gave her, that she has probably just like on a holster thing on her leg or whatever it's called, or tied to her leg, and holds it like dagger side, and gives it to and presents it to Volmos and says, "Here's your chance, Queen and the future Queen of Anoria. Take it."
As you started to say that, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna give it to Elrin to give
Nope.
her the chance." But I love that.
And I am studying every movement that he makes to see if there's a switch, or because he said when he went to Corvos, it was like all of a sudden he didn't remember what was going on and he didn't have control.
We're gonna keep this 25 because that's crazy good insight check going in this conversation. You recognize that your mother has taught you that as soon as someone has a weapon that is in front of you, there is a certain stance that is going to be best to be in. Man, she's a battle master. She'll tell you that there's 3 stances that are most useful in this, and you remember that very clearly, and you watch your mother not make any of them.
And I don't either. And Eldrin actually says, does he take it?
I kind of picture you kind of like plopped in his lap.
Yeah. So, and Eldrin says, because remember, Eldrin has 2 levels of exhaustion right now, barely standing. And she says, "Now's your best chance."
I've got my wind saber like at the back of his neck too. So like,
And I say, "Guar, put that away."
and I look kind of confused, like, serious right now? Like,
Milo, did you have a hand raised?
Yeah, Milo, go for it.
I did. Milo is going to, as sneakily as he can, take his cloak back as he hears, sees a dagger come out and hears that there might be a fight. He's gonna just grab his cloak.
That was over Volmos, or excuse me, no, Volmos.
Yeah, his head.
I think you took it once you settled down.
okay.
Because there's no way that you're able to do that sneakily.
And I think at this point,
you don't know.
Eldrin,
Let me roll.
Roll that stealth.
you don't know.
Roll that stealth.
Sleight of hand.
Roll that stealth.
Sure. Whatever you
Slide
want.
of hand. Slide of hand.
26.
Nice.
DC was 30. That was really high.
You
DC
suck.
was definitely 30.
I love it.
Retcon.
So while that's
Retcon.
happening, Eldrin is not looking at Norris. She's not looking at her mom because she knows that Norris probably looks horrified, and her mom is doing everything possible to not look like upset.
For the record, Guar is still using one of the 3 battle stances.
Yeah.
He's just not. I put the sword away, but I'm like.
Eldrin doesn't even look at Guar when she says put it away. She is staring into Volmos' eyes. And I say, "Go ahead. It's your chance."
I don't understand.
Come on, Tal. I know you have a hold.
Stupid bitch.
You had Raylor retrieve him, so he must be part of some plan. doesn't your ego so badly want to come out and explain this to us?
You're stupid.
I'm right here.
No, I told you that what
Get a mint, needle teeth.
I don't.
I'll make it even more poetic for you, because I know that Tall feeds off of emotion. This dagger that I just gave you, it's the dagger I used to pledge my life to Noros. So wouldn't that be so poetic to plunge that through my heart?
And I made it. Well, I had it made.
I would take a pause
Milo's
on this. This is a heavy part.
At that, Milo's gonna look at Ilren to see if there's any like twitch or anything there.
Roll me a perception check.
Uh, 21.
You fucking all right. You're not sure,
Okay.
but I'm not done. You're not sure, but you thought you just saw the Queen of Honoria's lip quiver, just for a second.
Eldrin goes further and says, if your mission was to destabilize Honoria, then we would be a fantastic start.
I told you that's not what I was.
I'm not talking to you right now. I'm not talking to the part of you that's my brother. I'm talking to the part of you that is being controlled by Tal, because we both know that something happened to make you stab Corvos.
You see him. He's been looking at the ground. He's kind of like made like awkward eye contact with you every once, or not awkward, like fleeting eye contact for the. You said, "I'm not talking to the part that is my brother," and he looks right at you. I am not controlled by this entity that you speak of.
Then why did you stab my father? You said that you lost control. How? What happened? Why did a servant of Tal try to take you right now? And I come closer and I actually take the dagger and I put it in his hands and put the dagger up against my chest. And I say, if you're there, Tal, right here, you have it.
Oh boy. Milo, you see
And again, Eldrin's looking for any change, any pink, any like anything. Like she's hedging on that she won't die in this moment, but whatever.
right. Milo, you see Ilrin Ilrin respects Eldrin as a citizen, as her daughter, and in the as a warrior. So I think there's a huge amount of leeway that Ilrin would give Eldrin in any sort of moment that is even closely relating to Marshall. Again, it's fleeting, but you see Ilrin's hands go up to try to grab Eldrin to pull her back. And I would say this is obvious. It's a little more obvious as there's a whole body movement here. Um, but you see her stop herself, just put her hands down, and you can tell that she is crying.
Eldrin leans in closer to Volmos and whispers. So, I mean, says quiet enough that maybe Ilrin can't hear, but I'm sure because I did ask Noroth and Guar to stay close. I say, Paul feeds on pain and emotion and heightened emotion. And I'm breaking my mother's heart right now. Why don't you fucking show your face?
Lorian, I'd like you to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Or insight, your choice.
It's the same. So, do you need to know which one?
No, your your choice.
I would say insight, because I'm studying Volmos and anything he does.
Okay.
Can I guide myself?
Yeah, absolutely. This is
Okay. Where are you? There we go. That would be 22.
I'll tell you what happens first, and then I'll tell you what you notice.
Okay.
Tell me specifically what's holding on. You're holding his hand that's holding the dagger and putting it up to your.
So, because it was the dagger that is in his that I threw onto his lap, because I'm assuming he didn't pick it up. Eldrin picked it up, clasped his hands on it, and pulled it to her chest. Pulled his hands with it to her chest.
Okay. You see Volmos is looking into and just searching for something. He's trying to figure out what you're talking about. He knows the situation that you're talking about, but doesn't seem to. I told you I would tell you what happens first. You see him just looking into your eyes.
Okay.
And doing the thing where he's looking at the right eye and the left eye, so it's very like trying to find something. And you see there's a second where there's just a very short sigh. And you see him say, with an authority that you haven't heard from this prisoner yet, I don't want to do any of that. And he drops the knife, and it lands in his leg. He doesn't.
Stabs him?
Stabs right into his leg. He is still clasped by you. You can see a sort of reaction from it, but he does not move. He doesn't do anything. The rest of you see blood is immediately pouring out of his leg. His blood's got to be crazy thin. but he doesn't move. He takes the full brunt of it. And it was good that you told me how much HP you actually gave him. What's your move? Oh, I did tell you I was going to explain to you. Sorry. The short version is you fully believe your brother.
Okay. At this point, Eldrin. So I feel like War and Noros have a like full view of what's going on, because they can see Eldrin's face.
Yeah, I think like pointing the position of this, I don't think Ilrin can see your face. Like Ilrin kind of reached out to like grab behind you to pull you back.
And I feel like Milo's more towards Ilrin because he was able to recognize some things on her face. So
yeah, I think so.
I think Norris and Guar see Eldrin going from this complete like, she's so sure of herself and so like determined, like, and just this coldness that had like overtaken her, to all of a sudden like she releases her like hold on him like she's been burned and just like stumbles back, maybe like even into her mother.
Oh, your mother. As soon as you show any hint of a sign of anything involving pain or surprise or anything, your mother snaps, grabs you, pulls you back, pulls a dagger out, and faces like faster than you've ever seen her move, and faces Volmos with it. Not sure what happened.
Eldrin with a very, very shaky hand, probably like, oh gosh, there's like two parts of Eldrin. She turns her face like into her mother, like as like a child, kind of like, I don't want to deal with this, but with the other shaking hand, like puts her hand down, like to try and like get her not to be pointing a dagger to this person.
Yeah, I think in that moment, Elrin sees the dagger in the leg.
And she and Eldrin says with a very shaky voice, here's what I know. Volmos Enerath was killed by the Knights of the White Flame. Kanos brought his body home. And he was buried in the crypts. And as of yesterday, his body is there. But I also know that a part of him lives in this body, and I don't know why or how or who would want to hurt our family like this. I am so sorry I made you watch that. But I had to be sure.
You're not sure if you've ever been held by your mother in this way.
Yeah.
It's alien to both of you. But I would say Eldrin probably the equivalent of 17 years overdue.
Mm-hmm.
She's visibly crying.
I think for the first time, because when Volmos died, like I said, like, because Eldrin had mentioned to Corvos, like, you and Mother were like grieving on your own. It was Erlin who was there for me. Neither one of you were. So for the first time, I think Eldrin finally like grieved like a child should with their parents comforting them.
Yeah.
And so you guys have in the room right now two tritons just of completely like.
Yeah. I think you kind of just like, because you're also 2 levels of exhaustion. I think you just like let go.
Yeah.
I think you.
That's what I think. Like Eldrin's just finally like, I can't hold on to this, and I can't be strong anymore, and I can't like do this.
Yeah.
there's like it's a weird thing too of like there's a part of Eldrin's like there's so many things I need to figure out right now, but at the same time this feels really nice to just let go.
Yeah. I think you see Ilrin like stumble just slightly under like the full just dead body weight as you just sink into her, as it's as of everything that of all the training that Ilrin has done, has taught, has gone through multiple times. She has not been taught how to be able to carry a weight like this.
Yeah.
And she stumbles. She makes a mistake. That's kind of like the moment. And Guar, I think Guar, you clock that. I think at this point you're kind of noticing both. And it's just a break for a second, but it means everything, I think. She puts her back against the wall and slides down with you. Guar, you are a paladin, yes?
I am, Highness. Like your husband.
Could you please safely remove the dagger from my son's leg?
It would be my honor. And I walk over and I just yank the dagger out.
Okay.
But then, but I immediately put my hand over and I cast Cure Wounds again.
You got it.
So I cast it for.
I will say, because you've already done this, I will say don't waste the spell slot.
Okay.
You do it, RP wise.
Okay. So I just go and I do a quick little prayer to Bahamut, who is better than Persona, and I close the wound.
Okay.
And then I kind of do one of these, like, to clean off the blade, and I flip it over and hand it back to Eldrin.
I don't think
I
at a point.
yeah, no, Eldrin's just maybe give it to Noros. He's next to you.
Okay, but think about this. Like, think about I'm kind of going like this, like handing it handle first, and right, and then I hand it to Noros.
You gotta hand it to Noros. Noros is also openly weeping. Oh yeah, okay. Yes. I'll take it.
Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
You hand it to Milo, then you know.
Right. No. I just kind of look at Milo with like a face of like, damn, I really fucked that up, didn't I? Like.
So I think there's a moment that I think it would be fair to say. So we've gotten Eldrin, Noros. I can't explain, but the short answer is, this is a beautiful moment, and feeling the. It's hard to ignore the emotion in this room, and seeing you connect with your mother in this way was. I think he remembers the constant. So much of your relationship has been complaining about your mother, and your parents in general, but definitely your mother. And I imagine that those conversations got. Those vents, the venting of your family got heated.
Venrus? What?
Sorry, the explanations.
Yeah.
Got heated,
they got very emotional, probably.
Yeah.
And I think in that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna finish Noros because I think we're gonna go around. Yeah, I think he even makes a motion to come towards you and then recognizes that this is not
his moment. Yeah.
That the person who needs to be comforting Eldrin right now is there.
Yeah, and I also think so for everyone else who's watching everything and the heaviness that's going on in this moment. I just want to I think it's probably pretty clear, but just so just to say, like, Volmos's death broke the NRF family. Like, and they don't know what to do right now. Because, yeah. They, like, because Eldrin hasn't talked about it really, but I think that Ilrin became a little bit of a different person when Volmos died. Like, she was cold before, but she became a lot colder. So I don't know if, like, because I'm sure that Milo and Guar are intuitive enough to be like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot that's happening in this room.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think there's a moment too, and I'm fully going to allow you guys to kind of have your moment to talk about this. But there's a like one thing that I think we forget about in D&D a lot of is like you guys have killed a lot of people. You've ended a lot of lives. There's been some
I've only killed one person.
Oh, jeez. There's been some heavy tolls that have been done as the daily thing of this is what it is to be an adventurer. You have seen an unwavering understanding of honor and glory in the face of any human emotion there would be on this. And you see Eldrin is now weeping like a baby at this moment in particular.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Guar.
I was gonna say, I think Guar would also like take a beat here, and like once he kind of realizes the fullness of the situation, like kind of have a pang of longing for his own family, because he's seeing a brother come back into a family. He's seeing a mother and a daughter reconnecting, and these were ties that were really important to him. And especially with mom and brother, and dad too, and just kind of like realizing, like, on the one hand, how he doesn't have that family anymore and how he longs for it. And I think that's why he and Corvos really like hit it off, and how that was so important to him. And I feel like that was even why he was willing to endure such an awkward conversation with Ilrin, because he just like wanted to have that connection with like a mom figure again. And to see that happening, it's not jealousy at all. I think it's not that. It's just kind of like a reminder of like, this is what I want to. And I'm like really glad Eldrin's having this moment.
Milo.
I don't want this to be comedic relief. Milo doesn't know what to do with this heavy room. He doesn't know what to do with this emotion. Milo's been studying Ilrin up until you guys embraced. At that moment, Milo dissociates. He's just staring into middle space, and I think he would transform. I think he would not notice. He would become a werewolf here, not knowing what to do with all of this emotion, and it's just very heavy and clashing in him that he wants to help, but he can't. But he's so overcome. I think that's where he I think that's where this takes him.
And I don't see this as comedic, but does where I see how it could be comedic, but does werewolf Milo let out a howl, because I feel like that's just heartbreaking.
I think
we get there because we've never established that Milo has any sort of sense of self in this form.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Milo, as you're disassociating, as you're trying to come to terms with even a blink of the familial understand, what it would be like to not have the familial life that you've had, and recognizing the sheer cannon fire of emotions that are in this room. I'd like to have a conversation with Milo and Orin in this moment.
Okay, yeah. Saren, stay away.
Well, it's funny. I was going to bring him in no matter what, but I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. Just so you know, I feel this. This would be a bad time. What's going on? Why do you're Milo? Your knuckles are bulging. You don't need to do this.
I mean, I don't know I was helping, and I got into this room, and everything got so heavy so quickly. I don't know what to do.
Okay, you don't have to do any, Milo. You don't have to. There's a choice that can be made here, but I think Milo, you've already made it in being clear of your, of you, Jamie, being clear of what would happen to Milo. So the question then becomes in this moment, what does Orin do? And I think at a certain point, Orin recognizes that this is going to happen, and the effects of what is going to happen from this could be catastrophic. I don't really want to be Orin in this moment. I would really like Jamie to tell me what Orin says to allow Milo to accept this change and therefore be fully cognizant in this form. Orin gathers Milo. I think he, in whatever way in this space, he can grab his face and makes him focus on him, and says, there are a lot of emotions in this room. The one you can digest right now, and the one you've clung to is rage. You need to acknowledge the other emotions in this space, in this form, if you have any hope of making it out of this room or this conflict. And Orin saying conflict, meaning conflict in yourself right now. Not understanding what to do with this emotion. You acknowledge the rage, but acknowledge the rest within you as well. It's clear as players that, and as a DM, that we all want this to go well.
Yeah.
But this is D&D.
Yeah.
And everything that I would say in an important chance like this has to be left up to the die.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miranda, can you come down here, please?
Oh, we're verifying.
Mm-hmm. As Miranda's making her way down here, there has to
Making
be a
it
roll to
work.
this. Making it work. There has to be a roll to this, and we have to respect the die. And as
Yep.
much as a DM as I would like to be able to control this moment, I don't think we can. So I would like.
Can I give my inspiration to you so that you can roll with advantage?
I'm gonna say that is fully up. Just for the record, Miranda can't hear what we're saying right now. She can only hear me. But I will say that is fully up to Milo, whether or not he'll accept that.
Oh, I hate that. Because there's no way Eldrin is conscious of what Milo's going through right now, and there's no way she should be.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that gives you your answer.
Yeah, I wanted to offer, but I respect your decision.
Okay. Milo, Jamie, I should say. This moment is fully. I will roll the die,
Mhm.
but this moment is fully in your hands because I need you to tell me what the DC is.
2, yeah.
It's just a D20, no modifiers.
I think it's got to be a 50-50.
So that would be an 11.
Mm-hmm.
11 or higher. 11 or higher. Miranda's eyes are watering right now. You guys can't see her, but
I'm actually kind of shaking.
I just asked if she wanted to roll and she said no.
Why would she want to do that?
Okay, here we go. No reaction for me, please.
We can't really see her anyway. She's going in and out of the water.
She's in the sea.
No, I see your reaction. I don't like it.
You can go.
I'm gonna rip my eyes out if it's bad.
And
On
we're taking
camera.
our 10-minute break.
I think that would be cruel too. I'm fully willing to do that, but I think that's really cruel to do that. It's up to you guys.
No, I was just
Did
messing
you
with
hear
you.
my
No,
threat?
no,
I'm gonna rip my eyes out on camera if it's not what I want.
Sure.
Joe,
Okay.
Joe, just for the drama,
Wanna make
just
sure
for
you
the
know.
drama of it, can you text it to me first?
Sure. I will text it to you right now.
Guys, remember like a few weeks ago, like my cat died. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
Oh my
sad.
gosh, that's so messed up to bring up right now.
That was really, really sad.
and it was really sad. And look at this
Um,
ring I have of her paw print.
Aww.
So this, I took this picture as Miranda was going up, but I think you pretty much saw my hands for the most part. I did not do anything to this die as much as I may or may not want to. Milo, tell me what happens when you transform.
I think no one, if you were looking at Milo, you would see him, like I said, staring into middle space, kind of rocking, and then you you would hear him whimper. I don't have a better word than whimper. As you see his hands, get hairy and longer, and his claws begin to form, and his limbs start stretching and bulging.
Real quick, I'm so sorry to do this for you. Honey, you have your character sheet, right? Okay, just making sure. Continue.
You begin to see his shoulders start bulging and hunching over, as his halfling legs are still there, but he's kind of ripped and then you see the rest of him start to fill out and become this beast that is that looks hurt. That looks like he's whimpering and in pain, physical pain.
Yeah. As you see this happening, Noros immediately doesn't have a sword. Does he have any weapons right now, actually?
He should. He just came from being with the
He has a dagger.
No, he has. Well, but he also has a sword because we went immediately from the Ixochitl thing to going down to the. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Guar, you see this form change. Tell me what you do.
I assume a defensive position. I unsheath my sword just in case. I don't want to use it, but I don't want anybody to die. So.
Okay.
And Guar also probably remembers the last time they had to fight off werewolf Milo.
Yeah.
Tell me, when you take a defensive position, are you taking a defensive position on yourself or someone here?
I'm gonna probably stand in front of Eldrin and Ilrin because they're really defenseless.
Okay. Got it.
And I'm gonna ready my shield and like unfurl it, like shing, you know. So I'm like ready to go.
Cool. You see Noros do the same, start to pull back, and then recognizes where he gets a clear idea of where he is in the room. Starts to get himself ready. Eldrin, I don't think there's anything you can do. I think you're in this moment of just connecting. Milo, you hear a voice in your head that says, "It's Orin. I am so proud of you." I'm going to send in the group what the image was, what the die roll was.
Wait, where are you sending it?
On the just chatting thing.
Just chatting.
Okay. Oh my god!
Motherfucker!
I honestly thought.
Y'all have some good poker faces. You have some good poker faces.
Because I thought that it was a natural one with your face, Joe.
I was waiting for it.
And I
was ready to die for this.
Literally, the whole thought was I was scared that I was going to put our friggin' group into a fight with Volmos / Tall, and now I did it with friggin' Milo instead. Oh my God.
I've said this many times, and I will continue to say this many times, D&D is an amazing game. When you leave it up to chance, amazing things happen.
This is how I feel right now.
I will say, Miranda had a hell of a poker face on that as well.
Yeah, she did, because I kept looking at her.
Yeah.
Freaking nurses.
So damn nurses. I wish we'd had the nurse that was mean to Joe. We would have known what it was.
Milo, you are in this form, and feel free to keep the halfling legs. I'll work with it.
Well, no, that was just as a because Jamie cannot handle as heavy a moment as that was.
Sure.
He's fully a werewolf right now.
Full werewolf form.
Werewolf.
Werewolf. It's a different type of wolf. Full werewolf form. Please tell me what werewolf Jamie does physically in response to swords being pulled. I think Eldrin and Ilrin are fully unaware. I think it wasn't even like, it wasn't muted, it wasn't quiet, but I think there's just a moment that like they're fully able to be attacked by anything and everything in this moment.
Because I think
that
Eldrin
food.
is saying to her mother, like, I'm so sorry. Like, Eldrin is probably muttering things the whole time.
Mhm. And she says,
You
"I
two
know,
are
I
against
understand,
the
I'm
wall,
sorry
right?
too." Yes.
Okay.
And I'm standing in front of them.
Yeah. Milo looks at Guar, looks Guar in the eyes, and then bows his head, tucks his tail, takes a very submissive stance, and curls up next to Eldrin and Ilrin.
Very cool.
What's Volmos
And-
doing?
Bleeding.
Almost kind of. Oh, sorry.
I
Volmos.
healed him.
We haven't gotten his reaction to any of this.
Looked visibly terrified.
Okay.
So I think he's terrified in the corner, and then sees. I think Norris would also start to kind of lower his weapon, like slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
Volmos just looks confused. He felt awkwardness. He definitely doesn't feel like he's able to come over there in that moment. So I don't think he does.
Yeah.
I think he just kind of curled. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Guar, like, seeing this happen, like, will very slowly, like, retract his shield, sheath his sword, and maybe, like, in paladin fashion, like, maybe, like, slowly come over and, like, put his hands on, like, Milo's head and maybe, like, Eldrin's shoulder. So, like, is everything okay? Like, are we good? We good?
Yeah, I think Milo, you
And I think at that, Milo, in the way that, like, a dog knows when you're down, puts his head in Ilrin's lap.
Oh my god.
okay.
I'm gonna reward this behavior.
I think there's a point where Elrin's never seen a werewolf, guys.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she never met the Valetians. She said she couldn't go that day.
No, she did not. I think there is a I think she stops crying and looks confused. She probably tightens up a little bit. Then there's also a moment where it's like legitimately, if you were to imagine all these things happen, the emotions that are involved in this, she can't handle another one. She just strictly can't. So she just kind of sits there and just puts a hand down on Milo. And Milo, you hear in your head, your friends at the door. As Saren and Wilbur both open the door and see this absolute. Go ahead.
Can I go back when he lays his head on Ilrin's lap?
Sure.
Oh, we haven't had our long rest. This would be a perfect moment for tranquility.
It would.
For Sanctuary.
It happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. You leveled up in this moment.
You, as he lays his head on Ilrin's lap, she feels this weird peace that comes out of nowhere. That gives her a little bit of that I think can afford her a little bit of clarity.
I love that. I fucking love that. Okay. That happens, and I think that does seem to calm her spirits down a little bit as she feels this. I think that the tension and then lack of tension in this room is so palpable. It almost feels like there's a big sort of like sort of echo thing that comes out of this room as Saren and Wilbur open the door and see all of this. Saren or Wilbur, give us the last note before we take our break. Or last word, I should say.
I feel like they just both look at each other like wide-eyed. Neither of them really, I don't think, deal with heavy emotion super well, or at least Saren doesn't.
Yeah, you both look at each other. Wilbur, you got anything?
That guy's still in some weird fever dream.
And Saren looks up at Werewolf Milo and Volmos and everything, and just, yeah, me too.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
And with that, we are going to take our break. Jamie, brava.
Yay!
All of you, brava.
I do want to, and goes back to our conversation before we started. I do want to apologize for making that moment about me.
No.
I get what you're saying.
Not at all. I think this was, man. Okay, you know what? There's so much to talk about, and we need to take a break.
Yeah.
So it's 10:31. I will see you all at 10:41.
I changed into cozy pajamas. It's too much.
I get it. I feel it. Anyone who's watching this session who has no idea what's going on, sorry. You would be able to figure out some stuff by watching earlier things, but this is the result of a 2-year.
I changed into my MeUndies Star Wars onesie. I got some scotch and ice cream.
Tell me more about these MeUndies pajamas.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're really comfortable. They're micromodal.
Use code long story for 40% on.
Yeah, you know what? It's not expensive if you get it at the right time or with this code.
Oh wow! Okay. Anyway,
Long story, all caps.
it's a long story, all caps for
Mhm.
for 20% on.
Honestly, though, this Tillamook ice cream that I'm eating right now, I feel like an old person when I bought it today in the store. I was like, I remember when ice cream was $3. Why is this $7? This is ridiculous.
Because it's amazing, that's why.
But
Well, yeah,
Tillamook
it's
ice
really
cream is
good.
worth it.
Tillamook is so good.
Okay, it's just good ice cream. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
They make
Good, but
the cheese they do is really good too.
Yeah.
we need to, if we ever do get into like, giving discount codes out, we need to get in with the ice cream.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
or the
That is
whiskey.
an untouched
Or the whiskey.
market in the D&D.
Yeah. Mhm.
Or the
Let's hook up with like a local Joe. Let's hook up with like a local distiller and
Mhm.
OYO.
I would love that.
OYO High Banks. Yeah,
You know what, though? Let's just
We're
make
not
our
picky.
own.
We'll just make our own.
sure.
Easy.
We have a still.
Honestly, in Ohio, we just need to find a place that's not doing that well and just buy them out. 'Cause
There you
there's
go.
So many. Okay, guys. So here's what I want to say, just real quick. I want to make sure that we jump back into it and save a lot of this stuff for the end. But Miranda's not going to be there for that. So I'm
Mhm.
just going to tell you, I took my break staring at my wife in incredulity of that nat 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said to her, I was like, it could have been anything between 11 and 19, and we would have
Yeah.
been like, okay, cool, good, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's great. It could have been anything under that, and going like, all right, here we go. But the nat 20, just like, I don't know about you, Jamie, but I was like, that sent a message. Whatever
Yeah.
you believe, whatever you think, whether that is, chaos or nothing, that felt very real.
I got
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
So
Well-
so what I did with Volmos, that's what was my surprising thing I was telling you about, that I was like, I do that instead of asking him questions.
I also said to Miranda, I said that was like genius. That was like, what a moment to force the DM to be like, what is the deal with this person?
Mhm.
Like, without
Yeah.
a doubt, is this person bad or good? So
Lorianne still does not trust him, but that's just because I'm suspicious of everyone and everything,
fair enough,
It's because we know Joe.
right?
and because he stabbed my dad. So
Yeah,
I
well,
guess.
there is that.
Well, Lorianne, he didn't stab Lorianne's dad. Let's be clear on this.
yeah, if
Everybody,
he stabbed Bob Smith,
Bob.
like Robert
these
David
are
Smith,
stories that we
if he
use-
stabbed my father, I wouldn't be playing this game anymore, and I'd find Joe.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
not.
Wait. I want to know what you'd find me and what, lock me up, or you're just gonna attack me?
I don't know. We'll find out when I get there.
I don't know, but this Tillamook ice cream is sure great.
They're delicious. And this Glenn Levitt.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
great.
baby. Love it. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to say. That nat 20 clearly sent a message, and like it was
Yeah.
what was
Send a message
amazing-
not to mess with Milo. Joe?
Well, it makes it's fully on brand for Milo that like all of these like crazy supernatural things that are like sacred or whatever just kind of happen around him or happen to him.
Mhm.
I'm going to say, and I know this is, again, I just want to say this because Miranda's still here. I was full ready for Milo to change into werewolf Milo, lose control, and kill Volmos. Right when Ilrin and Eldrin accepted that there's a part of him that's real. Like, I was so ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, same. Like, there was, like, we knew exactly how many hit points we had. That was a problem. Like, there was a
devastating would that be? Oh my god!
There was a point where we were just like, oh no, I know the hit points. This is bad juju.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anytime I know the hit points of something means that those can go
Especially
away.
when you asked Mike, you're like, who are you actually protecting? I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you like that.
Which is why I was very clear about who I was.
And then I asked Miranda if she had her character sheet ready.
Yep.
Technically, well, I'll let y'all know. Volmos and Eldrin have the same hit points right now, so.
Amazing. Yeah, well, and that was the thing too, like full on werewolf Milo in an enclosed space where no one is safe and no one can run anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was gonna be a party member that was gonna go down. Like, it was gonna happen. And like, as far as in the world of like, and I thought about all of this, like as all of these kind of thoughts went through my head. Like, if it was Eldrin, it's a possibility that she would have been able to be safe, but that means that most likely one of the other ones that were going to be raised was not going to be able to happen. If it was anyone else, they're not going to take precedence over people of Honoria.
Yeah. The best part is that Jamie said, "I'm not doing this as a joke." And they turned into an extremely serious thing.
Because that moment could have been like comedic, like, and you see a werewolf, and you suddenly see a werewolf over in the corner.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to take away from the weight of this moment, but this is heavy. This is heavy for Milo.
That was perfect.
That was a well thought out and hard decision that I respect that you made there.
Thank you.
Oh man.
All right. Back to the sadness.
Back into it. So here's what I'm going to do, because, and I will fight everyone on this. But I said this to Miranda, and I think it makes sense. We are going to allow a moment to be able to say whatever happens the rest of the night, but we're going to flash forward.
Perfect.
Because there is no way anyone is going to be able to explain this to Saren and Wilbur in character in real time. So we're going to cut to the next day. I'm going to explain a couple things that go on during this. And then you all can tell me if there's something specifically you do. I would say that evening, but we're already. Well, it
was already midnight. Yeah,
we're encroaching into exhaustion territory here. So we'll go around and be able to like say if there's one thing, and if there was nothing, that's totally okay too. To be like, yes, everything that happens. So here's what happens. What happens is explained most likely by Guar, as Ilrin and Eldrin ask everybody to leave the room and spend time with Volmos. You're not entirely sure what goes on. I think in that moment, Eldrin, you can tell me later what happens. But I think it's fair to say that the rest of the party doesn't know.
Okay. I'm good with that.
So within that time, I will say this simple yes or no answers to this. Corvos comes running up to, we'll say, Wilbur, and says, "Have you seen my daughter or the queen anywhere?" Wilbur, do you tell them that they are in that room or do you not?
Haven't seen him. I've been looking for him myself, actually.
Okay, cool. Corvus informs you that you all should be okay. You guys can handle yourselves pretty well, but there is an escaped prisoner on the loose.
Oh.
He
That I just want
He
Will to be
runs
like,
off.
that's a surprise.
yeah, he runs off to do other kingly things. I'm not even gonna roll a deception check on this. There's no way that he wouldn't believe you if you told him the truth. Yeah, I think
This is where Wilbur looks at the camera and goes,
you just jim
Yeah,
the
I
camera.
mean, imagine telling Corvus, well, your daughter and your wife had a breakthrough, and she's holding her as she's crying, and your dead son, half of him at least, is here. So
Yeah.
have fun.
So that happens, and you all find your way to your respective places to sleep. Ilrin eventually comes out, finds Corvus. The conversation that's between Eldrin and Ilrin, we're not going to go into the details of it, but Ilrin says it is best to wait, I think.
Eldrin agrees.
Cool. So for the most part, Volmos is going to be staying in your room, and no one goes in or out besides your party.
Okay.
I think it's probably explained. Let's see. Oh, fuck yeah, I love that. Your mother says there is a secret place that you can put him into. Well, I mean, she just saw them come out from it, so she would definitely know where it is. But you get the feeling that your mother always kind of knew. Actually, I think so. Retcon on that, because I think your mother actually knew it was because it's like an emergency evacuation thing.
Yeah, so I think that the thing is that Eldrin. It's not clear that Eldrin just told Norris where it was. She, for all her mom knows, she told him right now where it was.
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah. So, bitch, get away from me.
She says, like, yeah, if anyone comes in, just make sure he goes in there. Until we get this sorted out, we need to be able to talk with your father on this and be on a united front. And we need to figure out what that front is.
Eldrin agrees with her on that, because I think we don't have to role play it, but Eldrin says, I don't understand, because half of him isn't here and half of him is.
Right. Your mother probably reminds you, again, not having the conversation, but your mother reminds you of like the legalities of this situation is tricky for any sort of oligarchy. So there's that factor too that you guys have to consider.
Eldrin's already decided what that all means, but we can do shit. Yeah.
Totally. I believe that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut to the next day, where there was a meeting that was scheduled again with Karen Erickson. So you're going to actually have that meeting. We'll say it's probably around like 11 a.m.
Yeah. So I think, if we're gonna have that meeting at like, in the morning. That's probably the first thing, because we went to bed at like 1 a.m., right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Because when Eldrin wakes up, I'm going to say, just as this is probably going to bite me in the ass later. I'm going to say Nora's got one level of exhaustion, because he stayed up and kept watch, because Volmos is staying in their room.
Okay.
And Eldrin isn't Eldrin has 2 levels, so she's not in a place for them to like switch off, keeping watch.
I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
a level of trust only goes so far when involving a loved one and someone who has definitely tried to kill a family member of that.
Yes.
That
yeah.
totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like Eldrin would probably be like, I believe it's him, but at the same time, I don't know.
His full response is, I don't care, I'm staying here. Like not even caring, like you walking through this, he would definitely like try to help you walk through it, but that can't happen to know.
Yeah.
It just can't.
Mhm.
So, and that's all regarding like whether or not even he trusts Volmos
Yeah.
in this. But yeah,
So we can actually say we have a long rest now.
you all get a long rest.
And I only recover 1 level of exhaustion.
Yes.
Stupid exhaustion.
Which I think also Wilbur, I think you had a level of exhaustion, so you should get that back too.
I gotta go through all my friggin' spells. Alright, whatever.
So small like things to handle up front. Before I forget, Saren, you wake up and no, we'll handle that when it comes to you. Is there anything that anyone wanted to do before going to bed? And we're gonna just do this. We'll just do this kind of straight in order. So we'll kind of go through the list here. So we'll start with Eldrin.
Yes. Sorry, I'm trying to prepare a spell right now.
Okay. I can go back to you if you want.
Yeah, if you could come back to me just because I am trying to make sure I have the right spells prepared. I should have done that today. Sorry.
Guar.
I think before he would go to sleep, I think he would give a prayer of thanksgiving to Bahamut, just that like everything worked out, especially with the Milo transitioning, and that we were able to accept him during his transition. And I think at the same time he would also like take a moment, just a quick moment, to be selfish and say like, "Please help me find Celeste."
Okay.
And then go to sleep.
I've been trying to find a time to tell you, the player, this. This is going to be a journey. This is not going to happen immediately. So just to kind of put you...
It's a journey Guar is willing to take.
Yes. Roll me a religion check. You're muted. I saw the celebration. I'm very excited for you, whatever this answer is.
Sorry, it's a nat 20 for 24.
Fantastic. I'm so glad I asked. You have, for the moment, as you have your... Yeah, let's do this. This is a highly emotional moment where there was a lot of wrongdoings and injustices that were made right last night. You wake up, and for everyone else, your proficiency bonus, I believe, went up. Let me know if it didn't. So it's at a +4 now. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Wasn't it a +4 before?
It might have been. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know.
I was a +4
'cause I was
before
like,
as well.
Yeah.
Can you customize this? You can't.
I mean, if you could give us extra.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that.
Well, first off, I literally can't, for one.
Well, then.
But for the day, Guar, as you awaken, your proficiency bonus is +5. So you add +1 to everything you are proficient with, which includes your weapons.
Cool.
Sweet.
So, just Guar.
I know. I'm saying sweet for him.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
Nope. I think Guar is just like, I think wants to be not overtly selfish, but like in his heart of hearts, he's still like, I want to find Celeste. So.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Milo. So I think there's a lot to unpack here. You are werewolf form, but you're conscious, or you're cognizant, I guess it should be the better word. Do you think you revert back to your form leaving the room?
Oh yeah, the moment the tension is released, when probably when Ilrin says, "Can you leave me with my kids?" Milo's going to like hug himself and turn back into a human.
Okay, very cool. You turn to a human? Whoa.
Well, the halfling.
Yeah.
All one.
Whenever you drop from werewolf state, it's just a random deed. Like it's just a random.
Crash.
That'd be amazing.
Cool. You wake up the next day. Is there anything else that you do that evening? Sorry.
That evening, I think Milo is going to spend with Duchess.
Cool.
He's kind of been using her as mode of transportation, as help, and he wants to just spend time with her and not have it be a like just build a relationship moment, you know.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. I think within that moment,
So he'll probably sleep there.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, I was just saying. So yeah, he'll probably sleep there.
Cool. You wake up the next morning in werewolf form. You recognize that you're in this form, and I think we can decide on what that looks like or how that works later. Or if you can, like, if you think about it, maybe we'll bring it up in play. But for now, you recognize that as you revert back to your normal form in that morning, you recognize that you have full control of this. You also have advantage on your checks to know if we'll say that you have advantage on your wisdom checks to know if the moon is coming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, because I think up until this moment you did not have full werewolf form control. I think you like kind of turned it on in a battle, and I was just like, yeah, that actually really makes sense. There's no reason to even fight against that. It just happens. It wasn't, So whether you knew you had control of it or not, you definitely have it now.
Yeah. I think Milo. I think it feels. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel overwhelming anymore. It just feels like a different mode. Like it feels different. It feels more natural to him. It doesn't feel like he's on like sensory overload.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I love that. So the next morning, and we'll kind of go over how that looks. But that's what happens for you. Saren, anything you want to do that evening?
Not before she goes to bed, but while she's in a trance, she wanted to try to get some kind of guidance from her patron on what happened with her psychic powers, and also just kind of coming to terms with the fact that she's like straying from the path that her patron kind of set for her after signing the deal.
Very cool. Do me a favor, roll me a religion check, please. And I would say normally you have advantage, but considering this is a straight roll.
11.
Okay. Cool. We'll come back to that. And Wilbur.
Wilbur doesn't have anything special that he's going to do before going to sleep, except as he's going to sleep, think, I need to figure out how to get in touch with Cerilius. But everything's really chaotic here.
As you think about it, you do look down, you do have a sending bracelet. Right?
No.
Was it just, okay. Getting my campaigns crossed, I apologize.
Wow. This is what we get for $5.
No, yeah, that's right. Noros and Eldrin have a, yeah, that's right.
We do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know what?
it's the other sentient wombat.
Wilbur looks down at his wrist and thinks, Eldrin and Norris could help with this. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's fair for you to realize as you're even leaving the room that, like, if I wanted to contact them. Also, I mean, for any of you, this was a huge family moment that might bring up the idea that you guys have been away from your family for a while.
Wow, way to come and like ruin my family moment with your family shit.
Wow.
Eldrin's the most important person in Eldrin's life. Okay.
Yes, of course. Wilbur fully goes to borrow the bracelet, saying, "I need to talk to someone important," and then just talks to you.
Exactly. No, but if Wilbur, because I mean, Eldrin's like depleted on her. Not that Wilbur would know that, but if Wilbur does mention anything, Eldrin, without thought, would give him her bracelet.
I think Wilbur right now is very much like, I really need to talk to Aurelius, but also like there's a lot of other shit going on, but also Saren could be in grave danger, but
You could
also there's a whole
her,
lot of other shit going on.
You could also ask your best friend Noros. You know he has a bracelet, and he's not as upset as Eldrin. And I really would love a Wilbur Noros.
Him from taking a time away and attention away from my best friend, okay?
Is this because Wilbur doesn't want to do this conversation right now? That's totally okay.
No, that's not why. It's legitimately Wilbur's like, everything's kind of crazy right now. This isn't a great time, but also Sarah's in danger, so maybe I should just make waves, but also it's not a great time.
I mean, it's up to you. It's your call, but I would roll for it. Like,
I just think it would be hilarious to have a Norris Wilbur discussion again, since they're not friends as Eldrin thinks they are.
It would be very short, but go ahead.
What?
What are you doing, Wilbur?
Wilbur's not pursuing the bracelet right now. No.
Okay. Got it. Cool. You look down at your hand and you see that there's a bracelet on it. Just kidding.
And then my other quick thought will be, I wonder if Winona's wearing that purple dress I got her.
Oh, she looks fierce in it.
Oh, that's what I realized. You don't have ascending. You can literally see through that person's eyes. That's what it was.
Yeah, but last time she did that, she died. So
yeah,
true.
Joe.
Because she did that to a dead body.
I'm sorry, but Guar told her to do it, so it's Guar's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all I know, Cerilius is dead right now. I don't know.
Fuck Cerilius.
So
an interesting point.
Are we still coming back to me?
Yes, but Wilbur, so for sure you're good.
Listen, the last 3 months have been about you, so
I know. And usually when we come back to me, I do rail what Joe wants to do, so I'm not doing that, I promise you.
It's so okay. It's so okay. I'm derailing myself in saying that this was going to take like 2 minutes. All right. Eldrin, yes. What does Eldrin do that night?
That night, when Ilrin leaves Eldrin, I think Eldrin, like, just exhausted, completely exhausted. 2 levels of exhaustion is intense, right? Like, yes. In a very rare, like, soft Eldrin that only probably Nora sees. Eldrin's falling asleep, and maybe, like, Volmos is, like, close, I'm assuming. As she's falling asleep, she just says, I think, like, I missed you so much, or something like that. But, like, in a way that's, like, she doesn't know what she's saying. She's, like, delirious from, like, just exhaustion and grief.
Okay. And your, I will tell you, Lorianne, Volmos, I would say that actually Eldrin probably kind of like connects that there's a possibility that he probably heard this, because you, I think as you're like kind of like falling asleep, you feel or see or hear like kind of like a jump, as someone has talked in a enclosed space that he has possibly disassociated to being his jail cell again. So keeping in mind, he's been in there for a long time.
Yeah. And so this isn't Eldrin. Lorianne's, my saying that is, I kind of want, like, I don't know if Eldrin would have this like thought, but like basically maybe like the sense of like there's a disconnect, even if this is like Volmos, in the sense of like, because he doesn't remember dying.
Right.
So like I think it's important, and I'm going to probably show it a lot more than just this tonight, that he understands that, again, his death broke this family. Like, okay.
And it also, like, to be clear, it is and isn't Volmos.
Yeah.
Personality is a little different.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think Volmos was...
Volmos was larger than life. Like, he was like the way she explained it before, like a few times, so it's okay if you don't remember, but like when she talked to Canos and stuff, it's like Volmos was larger than life and was like the perfect ruler. Like he was just, everyone loved him. And that's why also Canos was like in his shadow, because Canos was a little bit shyer and could not like compete with that. So he's just like, I'm fine being back here. Like actually, I think all of the children, well, like Eldrin and Canos, because they were older. I mean, Anrin and Navos are younger, so I don't know if it really mattered. But like, I think both of us were like, you can have the spotlight. We're good with that. Like,
yeah, well, man, we could go into that forever. I'm sorry, I'm derailing
Yeah.
again.
Let's talk
at a
about
certain-
the Enerath family for the next hour and a half.
Yes, apologies, everyone. At a certain point, Noros is kind of like drifting in and out, but we'll say just the camera sees Noros kind of like wake with a start as Volmos has stood up, and Volmos stands up and then goes and lays. I would say he's probably been given like, I assume he's not laying in bed with you.
Yeah.
So I would say that he most likely has been like given like a cushy chair or something like that.
Yeah.
To sit and sleep in. He fully in the middle of the night gets up and just lays on the ground.
Okay.
Just more.
And yeah, Nora sees that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Next day. Let's do this, and we are going to move a little quicker than we normally do in the morning stuff. I say that now, but everybody roll me a non-combat initiative, please. Noros doesn't count, and Gerard does not count. And we'll say,
Do I get to add?
for the sake of, just go ahead and put it in the chat so that I can remember.
Okay. Do we get to add our initiative like score to it, or just is it a D20
absolutely.
roll? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Not that it helps. You'll all laugh when I put that in there.
Yeah.
But you know what? It went from a 3 to a 4, so
Nice.
yeah.
13, 22, 4. Cool. This
Nice.
is what I like about a 5-person group. It does make that easier. Cool. So Milo, you wake up. You are in werewolf form. You see at this point, like, it's still pretty alien-like. It takes you a second. You kind of wake with a startle as you see one like tentacle sort of eye just like blinking up at you over your face as you like wipe your eyes and notice that they're giant paws. And I'll say you get the feeling like you've known Duchess for hours now.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
And but I will say with the intense time spent, you know that like Duchess is not afraid of you, just curious.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good girl.
Yeah. Milo is is it the eye stalk or is it just a tentacle?
It's the eye stalk itself, so it's just blinking.
Okay. So while the eye stalk is like here and whatnot, Milo's gonna hug himself and change back into his halfling form and say, good morning. And just kind of go about his he's probably going to take this morning because it was a little bit heavy. The last night was a little bit heavy. He's going to take this morning to organize his satchel, just go through the things and shift him around and clean out his bag a little bit. So probably up on top of the skull, just sitting up there, crisscross applesauce and sorting through his things.
Okay, cool. I would like you to give me a just for fun. Give me a dexterity saving throw. Low DC.
13.
13. Yeah. Okay. Cool. With a 13, I'm not even going to tell you what happens. It's just you're good.
Okay.
So you start kind of pulling things out, kind of connecting where they are, just getting that organizational sort of like this is something that I can control and do that. Yeah. I think you do see Duchess as you're taking things out of your satchel, so there's nothing else in your satchel. You see Duchess just fully how a tentacle comes in and takes your satchel.
Milo's gonna swim after it. Hey, that's mine.
So there's a moment where you see another tentacle just actually. Oh my god. Okay, I rolled another nat 20. You see Duchess fully
keep that die.
Just rip your satchel apart. As she's inspecting it, she's trying to figure out what it is and just tears it into
Lovely girl.
like paper, super easy.
Yeah. She's
perfect. She goes after her namesake of my cat Duchess, destroying things to just out of curiosity.
There you go.
And sadness.
She's a beautiful terror. Of course, she's gonna destroy it.
So you feel like everything that's out, okay, what is important to me today? Because I have pockets, and that's about it.
Yeah, and Milo's gonna sort through and take. I'm not gonna go through his inventory, but he's gonna sort through and take the important things. If it comes up, trust that I won't fudge the numbers on what he would value. What he would value in this moment, and puts everything back in his little nook in the skull.
Okay, you got it. I think after that you head off to the castle, and point. Go ahead.
I was gonna say as he places his things in this skull, it is going to remind him of the chasm in the side of the Rifu full of treasure. That this is him starting his own treasure.
Love it. That's so good. If I may add to that also, Duchess does bring back the 2 pieces of your satchel and just kind of puts it in front of you. So you do have raw materials.
He'll repair it later.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. So with that, I think you head off into the castle. There's possibly a moment that you pass by the area that was right next to the front gate entrance when you saw the vision of Darius, or the version of Darius, I think is what I meant. You don't see anything there, but just you're reminded of it. Guar.
Guar would wake up and do his ritual, and then I think the focus for him would really, at the very least, be to get his halberd back. So he'd want to talk to whoever. His plan would be to talk to whoever, I know Ilrin had it taken away. So maybe start with her, but to go from there and kind of see what the status is of that.
I don't think it'd be easy to find Ilrin. I think it'd be easier just to talk to a guard.
There you go. Yeah. So, but his top priority would be to get the halberd back because that's what he feels most comfortable with, weapon wise. The wind saber is sick, but he likes his halberd. And then from there, because in his mind, I would imagine he would be well, okay, if I have my halberd, then I have my vessel for Celeste to come back to. So once I have the halberd, then I can go, when appropriate, look for, or at least start the process of getting Celeste back, retracing my steps.
Okay, cool. Let's do a small role play on this moment.
Sure.
So the guards tell you to like, oh, the royal forgery is here in this place, and it's not set up like a shop sort of thing. It's kind of set up more like a. I would say you see it more as like a jeez, like a mechanic shop, really.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, so you can see that, you can kind of hear that there's like a bunch of noise and things going on in the background, and there is like a small desk that someone's sitting at, but it doesn't give that shopkeep vibe at all.
Sure.
He's just kind of like giving tallies, and you can see that for a Triton, he's not buff, but he is very like cut. You see just like arms just like kind of exposed, actually just whole upper torso exposed, as he's like just checking things off. I think you found out from the guards his name is Kiris.
So, I mean, obviously I go up to Kiris and say, like, Master Kiris, I'm here to check the status of my halberd. Also, what's your ab routine?
Oh, well, it's mostly just it's eating, right? Kind of the big and most important thing. What was the first question you asked me?
That I have a halberd. Her Highness Ilrin had it sent away to be sharpened. Wanted to make sure.
Yeah, the heavy one, right?
Yes, that's the one.
All right. I don't know how you guys walk around with those things. Let me go get it. Hold on one second.
Do a lot of push-ups.
All right. I think even at that, like even two gym bros, like that was poignant. That was like, all right, buddy. Like, comes back. You see your halberd bright and shining and very like highly polished. Cleaner than you've ever seen it before, I think. And like sharpened.
We don't mess around in Anoria.
That's right.
I expected nothing less. I mean, Princess Eldrin has sung your praises for ad nauseum, really. I mean, but you certainly lived up to it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I was in pretty bad shape. There's an area.
I use it a lot, sir. I use it a lot. I've killed a lot of people with this thing.
I believe it. Yeah, it's a lot of blunt objects you must have attacked with this thing. There is an area like just down towards the pommel. If you wanted us to kind of take that pommel off, it'd probably help with just the general sort of like weight of it. Be easier to kind of move around.
Wait, the pommel of the halberd, like down, like the
Yeah.
But that's my polearm master part.
I think you recognize this as a Triton explaining to you what would make this a better Triton weapon.
Sure. Okay. So then I would say, like, all due respect, I am impressed with the fluidity, no pun intended, of your combat skills, because water. I'm gonna keep that because that actually works really well in land combat.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not familiar. It's been a number of years.
Listen. If you ever are willing to come and fight on land and you want to fight with me, I would be honored to have you. I can see you have the physique for it. You have the determination for it. So if you ever change your mind or convinced to come up on land, seek me out.
I mean, fuck it. Roll a persuasion check.
It's 26. No, 27. 27.
27?
Yeah, but plus 8. I rolled a natural 19. No, that's... Yeah, 19 plus 8. Oh, yeah, 27.
27. All right. I mean, I rolled a natural 19, which is really good, but I legitimately cannot beat that. I will say this. Here's what I will say. He kind of hands it back to you. Yeah. Hmm. Anyways, did you need anything else?
No, sir. Thank you very much. This is gorgeous. I fine craftsmanship, fine work. I can tell. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, if I may say, as far as like, I've only seen a small handful of land equipment. Doesn't even call it a weapon, just as equipment of land equipment in my time. This does seem to be well built, considering. Just just keep it away from any like. Looks like you might have banged up a couple walls with this thing.
And in all honesty, sir, I will be investigating how it became so blunt in the first place. I'm not quite sure entirely, but I will take very good care of it. So thank you very much.
All right, yeah, and just I mean, if I'm assuming you're saying because you kind of like handled it, like gave it to someone else. I would say don't give it to that person again.
Oh, definitely not. I will be fully aware of my actions from here on out.
All right, cool. Well, good luck with you.
Yeah, enjoy your ab
Just
routine,
give you
sir.
a shake. That 27. You're not aware of how much you've changed his possible trajectory in life.
Sure.
So he does give you a handshake for that. And you walk out. You walk out of that place. As he seems to stare at a spot in the wall. Anything else you do in the morning?
Nope. I just want to get my halberd back. So.
Okay, cool. Wilbur, sorry, before you go, Wilbur, what do you think Wilbur, sorry, Miranda, I know you have to go, but what do you think Wilbur does in the morning?
Wilbur's doing nothing except for going to find food. So I imagine little man's
food?
probably hungry. Yeah. He'll probably wander into the kitchen or somewhere just to see what he can find.
Oh, you're going to the kitchen?
I love that you said little man. Because that's what we call our dogs.
Roll me just a luck check real quick.
That's just a straight roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
18.
18's pretty good. Yeah. You go to the cooks. They say to you like, yeah, okay, yeah, seaweed, right? Got it. And they fully give you seaweed. Where do you think you go from there? Do you think you go to Eldrin's room and like do like a
Yeah, I think I'd probably go to Eldrin's room, with the intention of very like quietly and on the down low, like, your dad told me there's a prisoner on the list last night.
Cool.
Best friends forever.
Awesome.
We have bracelets.
Excuse me. All right. Oh, you were actually next in order, anyways.
Right, perfect.
Moving forward.
Bye, guys.
We'll miss you.
I love you. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, Joe gets to see her in bed. What the hell? None of us do. Totally Mendez. Now that I've had a lot of whiskey.
Before I forget, just I'm gonna take this one because I'm definitely gonna forget later. We are off next week.
Okay.
Just to confirm that. So.
Cool. Not cool, but cool. I confirm it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, Saren, you go to tell me the process of your like trance. Like, how do you kind of like connect yourself to that?
I think it just involves her like getting into her room, kind of doing those stereotypical like sit cross-legged on the floor and just like slower breathing and kind of relax into it.
Okay, cool. You go through the typical process of doing that. You set yourself, slow your breathing. Do you imagine like you close your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. You close your eyes, try to find that center to be able to kind of connect yourself with the next 4 hours. About a minute goes by. And it's odd because you are fully aware of that minute. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. You shift your position in your like cross-legged form, like maybe I need to do right over left tonight. Nothing. I'd say about 20 minutes go by when you recognize that something's wrong. I mean, everything's wrong, but something's wrong even with this. I'd like you to roll a survival check on yourself.
A nat 20?
Okay. Very cool. Nat 20 day.
I love this tray, by the way. Thank you, Lorianne.
Are we
You're
showing off?
welcome.
Are we gonna do it? Is today the day?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God,
Before you came on, I asked Mike if he cared
you
if
did?
we spoiled it, and he said, "Am I the only one that does this?" And I was like, "Yep." Yay! I made myself one too because obviously you gotta.
Of course.
And look at what's on the back of mine because I found this shell pattern. I was like, it doesn't work on the inside, but I'm gonna put it on the back.
That's super cool. I love that.
I just need you to know how well this specific set of dice matches, too.
I want you to know that I was really considering doing some sort of red in the inside for yours, Kayla, but I was like, it just doesn't work. And at least I put a little Gerard like figure on the side, so it's fine.
It's perfect. I literally was using these dice just because it matched tonight.
Yay!
And
That's
hey,
a
we're-
third-
Happy
That's
anniversary. So you know, guys, this means that we got to keep going until the 3rd anniversary because then there's another gift. That's how I get everyone to keep role playing with me.
That's right. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
You gotta keep this campaign.
But yeah, that was a 30.
A 30? Well, 30 is just enough. You it's hard to explain this because as humans it's literally impossible for us to understand this, but I think for me specifically, well, kind of, you feel like your mind is racing a little bit, and I think at first you're just like, okay, cool, I just need to, like, because a lot has happened, your whole like existence has kind of changed, so you're trying to kind of connect yourself, like, just relax, we can figure this out in the morning. With a nat 20, you recognize something that is, I think, both horrifying and mechanically very interesting. In your current state, you are immune from exhaustion. And you don't need to sleep.
Okay.
Wait,
Now,
did you
the
get
awkwardness of
exhaustion?
Yep, immune to exhaustion. In this current state, I want to be very clear on that. You also recognize that everyone around you is asleep.
Which she also used to recognize when she only tranced, you know?
Right, that's true. You you may do whatever you want for the next 8 hours.
How does that work with the long rest? Like, do I still get
Don't need
that? I don't need it.
I will say, when the party rests, you regain hit points. Like,
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was going to
keep
say, she
that
needs a
right there.
long rest to regain stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, do I
Right.
still click the button?
Yes, you do physically click the button. Yes.
Okay.
Don't
Good-
worry. He'll take
good
it
to
away from you like
know.
he's taken away all of the things he's given me.
Um,
I'm not bitter.
she would be trying, because she knows that if she doesn't, like, she doesn't know much about her current situation, but she knows if she doesn't get a soul, she's kind of fucked. Darren knows about the whole, like, Darius and the wall thing, right?
Yes. As far as like what Milo mentioned, yes.
Yeah. Like, would she have any kind of idea where he would be in the wall of the castle? Like, how big is it? Like, would she have an idea of the location? Or would she be able to go investigate? Because that's kind of like...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I would say like Saren in normal form, no. There's no freaking way. Saren in this form, roll me a survival check.
Got 4 more hours to figure this shit out.
26.
26. We'll say, for the sake of time, you find Darius. Darius is both no longer a part of this world and still a part of this world. His soul is literally trapped in the walls of this castle. You find, I would say, just to kind of give a pinpoint location, I would say it's I don't want to insinuate anything, so I will tell you that it is just a random spot in the castle. What you see is you just see kind of a very like silvery sort of form of Darius in an expression that is unflinching, cannot move, and you assume that this is what Darius's facial expression was like when he passed. Sort of in kind of like an open sort of mouth, like wide-eyed sort of expression, and he seems to be traveling within the walls. When you feel where he is, you know that you cannot get to him in this Saren body, but you could probably reach out to him if you separated.
Okay.
All right. You separate. And I'll say for the sake of time, I don't remember what Darius's voice was like, but we'll say that it was relatively normal. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my way back. And you see, I'll say just for the sake of ease, from here up, he's like this. He can't move his eyes. He does recognize that you're there. You can see he's kind of like he's both looking at you and almost like looking through you.
Darius, is it?
Yes.
I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just gonna say it, but I don't think you're alive anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for the way back.
I can help release you from here in a way.
You know the way?
Yes.
Well, then take me there.
And she just kind of like put a hand on his shoulder, sort of thing.
You tell me what this looks like.
Like a see-through Saren kind of moment. And she just like reaches her hand out and like puts it on his shoulder and kind of like nods to him, and I feel like you just see him like vanish, kind of like in smoke sort of thing.
Awesome.
Has anybody else played Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
I've played Assassin's
Anybody?
Creed. I haven't played Valhalla though.
Damn.
I imagine it hasn't changed very
Jaren
much.
has.
There's a moment where it's like,
Like-
there's a moment where like everything goes white and it's just you and the person.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you're killing certain people that are important to the story, you just kind of go into this like all black area where you have a little conversation, and then they kind of just dissolve into this little trinket, which I think makes a lot of sense in this situation.
Do you have an idea of what this trinket looks like?
That's what this is for, right?
Technically, yes, but also you would just do it once. I have an idea that is a little bit more story-based, but it's up to you.
Okay,
If you had an idea, tell me what it is. If not, I'll tell you.
tell me.
Okay, cool. I'll tell you in a second. I think in that moment, as you decided this person is going to pass on, I will allow this to be a mini version of Speak with Dead spell. And you can talk to him. We'll say for this, you can ask 2 questions. And this is guinea pigging the idea. So if we change this up, we'll change this up later. You see him fully look at you and go, okay, I'm ready.
Can I ask a question in this? Does he?
Sure.
Can he feel that Catherine is currently dead right now?
He does not feel that.
Oh.
He's in kind of the land.
Okay.
so to
Okay.
speak.
I am not.
You can tell.
I am
him
not
if you
gonna
want.
tell that poor man that his daughter's
This
dead.
is what Saren's like. Your daughter's dead.
Yeah, your daughter's dead. I'm also taking your soul and giving it to an evil, like, demon man. That's totally fine with you, right?
So I will say this: there is, man. Well, it's, you and I, Kayla, will talk about this later because we want to make sure we get through this. So, cool. All right, yeah. So you see it. Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Could I ask you a couple things before you go?
Yes.
Who trapped you in this wall?
He looks back, he thinks back, and Joe pulls up his thing.
Are you looking up names? Because it was definitely Erlin, right?
It was Erlen. He says to you, there was many large foreboding shadows behind her. She said, I'm sorry, this is the only way, and she pushed me and I went through the wall.
Are you aware of anybody else that was working with Erlin or these other creatures?
No. Not that I know of.
Thank you, Darius. And I'm sorry.
Okay. You see him just away. Eldrin, you blink and you are touching the wall.
Oh, okay.
You are fully back in your own body.
Did you say Elvin or Saren?
Yeah, did you
Sorry,
mean?
excuse me.
Did you mean me?
Saren. Too many M's.
That's why I was like, oh, okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Saren, you
I'll go back.
you wake up to the area that you left before you separated from this body. You move fingers, toes. It feels different. You feel like you're back. You feel extremely hungry and thirsty, as your other form didn't think to eat and drink. You only do that when you are hungry or thirsty or need nourishment. You notice that there. You still have the effects of a long rest, but you, I would say in this moment, recognize I am me. I am my body. So your disadvantage gone on the dex checks. And where do you go next? Do you just go to the kitchen? Oh, also, I'm sorry, I forgot about the most important thing. You have a hand on the wall, and you look down at your other hand, and you find a very small inkwell.
Okay. She looks at it a little bit and puts it in her pocket and heads to the kitchen.
You head to the
With Wilbur.
kitchen, try to get yourself some food, some snacks to be able to kind of just everything that I think is just like high protein, low carbs, like very much like built into the runner, super athletic sort of elf that you are. And you recognize that you're fully in your form. Very cool. Eldrin, you are up next.
Okay.
Would I have any time after that to go back up to my room and try to trance again?
Absolutely.
Cool.
You do that. I will say with the religion check at 11, you try to trance and you try to connect with your patron. 11 doesn't quite cut it, unfortunately. So you still feel that there is something that is disconnected there.
But I still don't know what I am. Okay. Can I tell everybody because of the trinket thing?
I think, yeah, the trinket thing is like the trinket thing is enough. Yeah, I think.
Please don't make me wait 2 more weeks. It's been like a month. I'm dying.
I can't even die.
Absolutely. Do you want to make it cool, or do you just want to tell them?
We can make it cool. What?
Okay, cool. You as you kind of make your way back to your room, you see that there is a mirror that is in front of you. And while you are fully in your form and you're back to normal, you notice that there is a form of you that is sitting on a we'll say that you kind of like sit cross-legged on the bed. Is a form of you that is sitting on another portion of the bed, fully incorporeal. You see her holding the inkwell in her hands and actually just like kind of like letting it run past her fingers back and forth. As Kayla's character has now transformed subclasses from a Psychic Blades to a
Phantom.
Oh. I have like a table talk thing to ask, but I'm gonna wait until the end.
Absolutely, yeah. Very cool.
You did make that cool. That was better
That was really
than
cool.
just saying Phantom.
And just screaming all of a sudden, I can't hold it in anymore.
I could have made it.
I'm not
super
gonna
silly.
eat anybody's souls.
You see,
Probably.
You see a little small cube in the corner that seems to be showing some other dimension or world, and you see a figure with a two-dimensional figure with white hair and green eyes that seems to be making superpowers. You hear someone shout out, "Danny, we need help." That was a long setup for a Danny Phantom joke, but I'm holding to it.
Yeah, and I also, because I'm an awkward person, laughed as if I knew what you were talking about, and I didn't.
Thank you, Lorianne.
You're welcome.
I followed you on that, but I was muted. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Wasn't my best. Okay, cool.
My turn.
Yes. Go for it.
So when Eldrin wakes up, Norris, I'm assuming, still is awake. So he might be the only one that notices this, unless Volmos is awake too. Is he?
I would assume that at some point Volmos got like food, like real food.
Yes, I'm assuming. Yeah.
I'll roll for it.
I just want to know because it's okay, good, because this is a very important thing. Eldrin wakes up, and for the first time in a very, actually, probably ever, that Norris has known her and has woken up in her bed or in a bed next to her, she does not do her morning rituals.
Okay.
Because she's very confused. Instead, she wakes up Volmos. She kicks him.
Okay. Instant fight or flight mode.
Okay.
Puts up hands and then sees it's you and drops them.
So Eldrin says, Eldrin's back to Eldrin, not the sweet Eldrin of I missed you last night, and says, there's a lot we need to figure out. But first things first, whatever's going on, it's only half of you, because I know the other half of you is with Persona, with Kano, so no matter what, you can't be the next in line. That's going to be me. Because even though you are my brother, half-brother, I don't know. I can't 100% trust you. I just need to make sure you understand that. She throws it all right when he wakes up. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I wish Miranda was here for me to be like, yeah, telling important information the second you wake up is not the best idea to.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
But Eldrin's back to like, I mean, she's still tired and stuff because she's still exhausted one level, but she's back to like, no nonsense.
Yeah, he kind of like, he looks up at you and says, I wouldn't deign to try to take that mantle.
Well, I don't want it. I need you to understand, I don't want it. But I can't give it to you when you're only half of you. Volmos at 100% was 100% perfect for this mantle. Volmos at 50%? No.
I understand.
Almost at 100% wouldn't have been offended by that. And you seem a little taken aback.
He doesn't say anything.
And when he doesn't say anything, Eldrin nods, because this is also like, in Eldrin's head, she's like, almost out. She doesn't say it out loud, but in her head, she's like, almost at 100% would have definitely said something back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I want to be clear that we're going to figure out what's happening. And I believe you. And I believe that you are Volmos, at least some part of him. But even though you didn't attack Mother and I, you did stab Father. So even though I trust what you say is true, I don't know if I can completely trust that you won't give in to some sort of programming, or the way I look at it is 50% of you is Volmos. What is the other 50%? That's where I am right now. And when I look at you, I think of Kanos and the fact that he refused to come back because he wanted to stay with you. So that's where we are.
He looks at you intently and says, if the Volmos at 50% had anything to say about it, he wouldn't let Kanos leave you.
Well, the other 50% of you did. So there's that as well. And Eldrin does like smile at him, like, teaches a lot about, you know, who we are as a person and the halves that make us.
I don't know.
But at that, Eldrin like claps her hands and says, I have some lives to save, people to bring back. So you are to stay in this room, according to Mother. I want my husband with me, so I'm not going to have him guard you. If you leave this room and you create chaos in Anoria, we'll be forced to kill you. So please stay here. Okay. Well, on that note, I'm gonna leave. And yeah.
I think you look up and Noros has been unmoving. You saw him probably like kind of like go in and out, like as you kind of like
Yes.
stood up and everything. As you like kind of like sit yourself back up after that conversation, you see him just kind of staring at you. Not saying
Yeah,
anything.
so I look at, yeah. I think I take Noros by the arm and I lead him out of the room, away from Volmos, and I say, is there something you want to say to me?
As you're leading him out, Volmos says, I do want to say one thing.
Speak your mind.
Gives you a very intense stare. I will never forget this. Thank you.
Don't make me regret it. Because if you do, I will kill you myself.
I expect nothing less.
And she pulls Noros out of the room. And then asks him, is there something you want to say to me?
I would like you to roll a perception check as you're leaving the room.
Okay. That would be a 16.
Okay, cool. I'll roll a deception check. 3 is not going to do it. You hear Volmos mutter something under his breath, and you're pretty sure it was, you could try.
Eldrin's gonna let that go. And lead Volmos out. Not Volmos. All of a sudden she leaves Volmos out. No, lead Noros out.
Okay.
But yeah, and when it's private, at least private enough for them, she does ask, like, is there something you need to say to me? Because she noticed, like, he was staring at her and stuff.
Yeah, I think, like, I will say with that, like, I don't think you take that as a threat. I think you, because I think there was something that there was a point that you actually said, when Noros at 100%, Volmos at 100% wouldn't allow me to say, or like would have a different response to that or whatever.
Yeah, that's what, like, yeah, because Volmos at 100%, I feel like Eldrin's like, he wouldn't let me talk to him like that.
Right. Which,
Like he would be like, "Are you kidding me?"
which gave him the permission to mutter under his breath.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you read from that of like,
Yeah.
okay, my brother.
I
is
like
in
that.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. But Eldrin, yeah. Eldrin still can't believe that, like, she has to believe the whole 50-50 thing because she did interact with him in Persana's realm. And Persona is number one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool. Yeah, you head out. You ask Norris is something you want to talk to you about. And he looks at you at first. He just kind of shakes his head. And more importantly, is there something that you want to talk to me about?
At that, Eldrin says, "This entire situation is messed up and shouldn't be occurring. I finally accepted that he was dead. And Kano died with the belief that it was all his fault. I don't know how I can reconcile all of that."
Yeah. Well, to start, you love me, right?
Yeah.
You trust me?
More than any of these people here. Of course.
I'd like you to repeat after me then.
Okay.
Shit's fucked.
I don't like that language, Norris.
Just say it. I know. Just say it. You'll feel better.
Can I say it in Elvish? It sounds so much nicer in Elvish.
Listen, you said you love me. You said you trust me.
It's fucked.
Feel better?
Happy? A little, but it's still... I still think that it sounds much nicer in Elvish than it does in Common. That's just my opinion.
And you can say it in Elvish in front of all these people whenever you want.
Okay. Maybe I'll say it in Primordial in front of everyone because they don't understand me.
I mean...
Well, except for Welter.
Oh, I think he's like gesturing to the castle when he says whenever... like.
Oh, yeah, I meant everyone... I mean... Wow, that's weird. I guess I just insinuated that this party is my life. That's something we can discuss later and figure out what that meant. We don't have to figure that out right now.
Too many bags to unpack.
100%.
While you were sleeping, there was I apologize. You know what? I'm your husband. Okay. Listen. So your like kind of shell thing made a noise. Anyways,
The shell phone?
Yeah, the shell phone. You have a meeting with Karen in a couple hours.
Okay. All right. Honestly, at this point, I don't freaking care if I ever go back on land. But yes, it's important. No, that's not true. It's important to figure out what the hell is going on with Tall. It'd be much easier to stand out here, though, wouldn't it? It would.
Let's get some food in you. As you all meet in the several hours later, you all meet in the meeting room that you had dinner in. You see Corvus is there. Corvus is not sitting; he's standing. He's kind of in the corner of the room. You can tell Ilrin has not said anything to him yet.
Yeah.
And you all kind of sit and group around Eldrin as the shell phone rings again. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. Oh boy, gang.
Joe, I know saying shell phone hurt you. Thank you for that.
It really did. It really did.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Cool. Normally I give kind of a time of being able to like say like, is there, answer questions or anything we missed, but I mean, feel free to ask questions, but I don't know if there's any stone we left unturned.
I do have one question.
Go for it.
Because it affects an NPC, but that NPC affects Eldrin. So, is it Norris's fault that Saren is where she's at? Like, giving her that potion?
Yeah, 100%.
Damn. But if he hadn't given her the potion, she would have been possessed by Tal. Right?
Correct.
But then she could have forgiven herself, I guess. Like what?
We haven't really talked much about the patron, but I'm with full awareness that their patron does not work that way. Seeing as like a lot of the features and traits revolve around your connection with your deity, your being, and there's nothing for rogues technically. That would be the line.
I just think it'll be so and I'm sure I don't know, you might already have ideas for this, but like I think it'd be so interesting for like the Tritons at least to be like, oh, this is all on us. Like if that comes out at some point from Saren, like, or if we learn from like Zaris that like, oh, that was supposed to kill her or Guar, like, because I feel like that'd be so interesting for them to have to like reconcile that. Like, yeah,
I think
because right now Eldrin's seeing that as I'm a cleric and she's like undead, kind of like I gotta deal with this. But if Eldrin sees like, oh no, this is directly related to what we as Enorians did, like, this isn't good.
Yeah, I think, and we probably handle that a little bit more in the next session.
Yeah.
When you guys see Saren, Saren has blood pumping through her veins. I think any sort of to check with Saren.
Okay.
Saren is fully elven.
Okay.
In this moment, so
maybe that's just something that will come into play later on. I just think that'll be so interesting because I feel like the type of character, like the NPC character Norris is that even though it's not his fault, Zaris made the friggin' potion. He's gonna blame himself for giving it to her.
Yeah, I don't even think
that would be an interesting conversation to have.
I realized all of that, like, so the potion killed me, technically.
So the potion was gonna kill Guar.
Actually,
it was meant to kill Guar.
You know that the potion killed you.
I do know that.
Oh, you need to have a conversation with Zaris. Oh my god.
Kayla did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
The funny thing is that Zaris at some point actually saw Guar and went, oh.
Yeah, but like all of us, I think in character, we were trying to play like, we don't quite know what he means by that. Like, oh, interesting. Like,
right.
Fucking Zaris.
I thought he was just happy it worked.
Yeah.
He didn't seem upset that Guar was alive. Like, there was he just seemed interested.
Oh, this will be very interesting because I know that like Jamie / Milo, because they're the same person. You had said that you wanted to have a private conversation with Zaris at some point because Zaris is being really weird about the Merid body.
Right.
So it'd be interesting if he was the one that like discovered something, but maybe it'll be Saren or who knows.
Yeah, I mean, Zaris was also not present for anything that you know of that involved saving this city from what was going on.
Yeah. Where the hell was he? He's supposed to be the protector of the city.
Sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anything else? Thoughts? Philosophies?
I'm so sorry that we gave you that potion, Kayla.
I'm glad I'm not possessed by Tal, I guess.
I mean, that's true. But you know what? Mike did it, and he was fine.
Very cool.
Mike said it a couple times.
Full disclosure, like the difference would have been that Mike met his maker.
Yeah, that's true.
Me. Sorry, Guar would have met his maker.
Well, the crazy thing is that the crazy thing to think about too is that we were like trusting Zaris is like he knows everything, and you like Kayla was saving that to give to Raylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was even thinking at some point I was like, oh, maybe Eldrin can convince Saren to give it to Volmos.
Yeah.
Because we were all thinking it's gonna break this connection to Tal.
Right.
Yep. Trixie.
Yeah. Well, I will save that for that conversation because I think it'd be easier to have that in character for any explanation he would have for himself.
Yeah, that'll be so interesting.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
If there isn't anything else, let's go ahead and do our kudos and things that we're excited for going forward. Did we do this backwards last time? Yeah, we did do. No, yeah, we did this backwards. So we'll start with Kayla.
Obviously, kudos to Jamie for Milo's basically Gwar moment of forgiving himself kind of thing, of accepting his werewolf form, and yeah, and also Eldrin and her mom, just that whole scene in that room, everybody that was involved in that was awesome. And I'm looking forward to talking to Karen, and also Saren figuring out what the hell is going on with herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll make sure I have a conversation with you. We'll just send it to Discord through this week because I think at this point you would have like at least 90% of what's going on out of character. So
yeah, because I think most of everything is like the trinket and being able to talk to him and stuff. That's pretty much
Kayla,
half of it.
I want to know, how are you feeling about this change with Saren? Are you like sad or like excited, like upset? Like,
I don't know. Well, first of all, I picked the transformation thing to, what was it called?
You were going to be a crap.
Oh my god, what was it? Spectre. Yeah. I picked transformation, and then Joe told me about it, and I kind of freaked out a little bit about.
I was so scared you're gonna be like
it.
I was so scared you're gonna be, what's the thing, like a champion thing, or no, not champion, where you come back, but it's only for like as long as where you come Revenant. I thought it was gonna be like a Revenant thing where you come back for only as long as, like, I think it's like either a year or as long as the goal is or something like that. And I was like, no. Sarah's gonna die. She's a timetable. I was very scared. And now you're looking at me and I don't like it.
Yeah. No, that sounds kind of like what the Spectre was. It was same thing with Wilbur. Like, if you die, you die. You have disadvantage on dying easier and all that. And I was like,
I think you actually have, if I remember correctly, I'll read it again. Maybe I read it wrong. I think actually as a Spectre, you had advantage on those saving throws.
Spectre is disadvantage. Phantom, I have advantage on con saves and death saves if I have a soul trinket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that what, is anyone watching the current like Critical Role? Is that what Marisha's character? Because she has like that some weird, not advantage, but some weird thing where she can, like, when she does death saving throws. I can't remember what it is.
I bet you anything. Like, so like being undead, like having advantage on death saving throws makes sense if you are like partially undead. I bet you it's that.
Okay.
He has a couple of homebrew things that are going on. So.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry to interrupt. I was just very curious how Kayla felt.
You're fine.
No, I'm also curious now.
Basically, the point was that the last, like, month now or something, very conflicted back and forth on how I felt. First of all, about deciding between the two, and then Joe let me change it to Phantom because I actually read over both and was like, oh, I can make this make more sense than Spectre.
That's tough, yeah.
And yeah,
And
I don't know.
There's some home brewiness, like, so like, full disclosure, the first like session we had with new Saren, like Kayla asked me, like, you knew I chose Phantom, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
this
remember.
other thing.
I remember when Chase said something like that.
It
Yeah,
sounded more like the Spectre thing, and I was like, oh no.
No.
There is like, so you've made a deal. So I think what's happened is it's changed your trajectory of your character development, in a way that I think is interesting, but not off course. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You're still looking for Raylor. You're still doing everything that you started from the beginning, but your goals have maybe have possibly changed based on recognizing that now you have. I would love for you to view it as a boon, because it is in a lot of ways that, even when you are, there's negative and positive to your characters, and it can cause a struggle for you right now. But I'll be honest with you, you guys killed a lot more people when you were on land. So there's that factor where it's like you always would have something like that to deal with.
Mhm.
And the thing I said to Kayla before was like, well, it's a good thing that you trance, because you could always just be like Batman and like go into sort of a thing of like, okay, cool, while you guys are all asleep, I'm gonna go solve crime and kill somebody.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. She has 4 hours to do whatever she wants.
As I thought about
Mhm.
that, I said, wouldn't it be interesting? In my head, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if instead of having 4 hours, she actually had all the hours?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So mechanically speaking, you do you regain hit points when the rest of the group regain hit points, which means morning. Does that
Okay.
make
That's
sense?
sweet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And
So if oh, sorry, go on.
oh, no, go ahead.
I was
You
gonna say,
might-
so if Saren decided, I know she told Wilbur some stuff, but if Saren decided that she wanted to keep this from the party, she very well could and do what she needs to do during her off hours.
Yep. If you haven't killed someone in 24 hours. So what's happened now
Okay.
is you have reverted back to your normal self. So
Okay.
your things that are negative because you were incorporeal, right? We could even just call it Spectre for the sake of time, or your phantom self, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. There's things that are good that you get, like being able to kind of separate from your body and be essentially like,
Oh, so she could
essentially
choose, like, I'm not going to
also-
kill someone today, so I
Mhm.
can have these things. Oh, that's good. Does it like keep getting bad, like exhaustion though? Like the longer she goes?
You're not entirely sure, but I would say that there's definitely something. There's things that you would notice as days go on without
That's cool.
sending anyone to Venice.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty much my question. Like, I'm assuming the don't have to sleep only applies to like if I haven't killed somebody yet
Correct.
and all of that.
And when
That's
you
cool.
kill somebody, it resets at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like you're not having to deal with exhaustion like as soon as you come back.
Yeah, so if I did
But-
go like more than one day, would killing somebody reset it, or does it like keep getting?
Yes. Good question. I
Okay.
know what you're asking.
Now-
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a sentient creature? Like, could it be like, not that you would kill Gerard, but could it be like a creature like Gerard that has some sentience, or does it have to be like a humanoid? Like,
That's a good question. I think the best way to answer that is unless I can find something that is a clear, like, this is what it is. The way that I pictured in the idea was that you have to kill something with a conscience, which is very, which is very floaty.
it varies. So it's like, it's not like she goes, oh, I killed a fly, I'm good.
Right.
Like,
The bag of rats trick will not work here.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, as far as Gerard would be a question mark. I'd have to think about that one. But like,
Not that you should never kill Gerard.
No,
But
that's never gonna happen.
if you needed to
Yeah.
kill Gerard in a moment that would save the entire party, would you? No.
Never.
Yeah, what a
Probably
shit.
not.
We would all die. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Eldrin wouldn't. Eldrin would be like, you should have trained that animal.
The last thing I will say on this, because I was going to talk to you about this in person, but I think it also makes sense just to be able to kind of like put this out in front there. Venesepa is essentially god of death. It is the person that is the quintessential Grim Reaper that like carries people on, and most of the time is considered to be evil because of what the job is. Kayla, in the idea of who Venesepa is to their core, I would imagine it makes sense to think about them as evil. What they do and what they're in charge of is slightly a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Have
you
you guys watched? Have you guys watched the Morpheus thing on Netflix or whatever it's called? I forget what it's called.
Sandman.
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 I'm picturing like the his sister and Sandman were like it wasn't actually evil what she was doing. It was just like
I haven't seen it. I think I tried to watch
oh,
it.
okay.
And it was
Okay.
tricky,
All right.
Or kind of like a supernatural situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's people that it's the same idea of like it's not very different than what Saren's doing now, but now having an extra sort of boon to and recognizing that like you probably don't want to send someone who is not ready to go yet, unless they did something really bad. But you are not sending them to a separate sort of like you're not sending them to hell. You're moving them on.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
So like the judgment or whatever.
I think like me as Kayla is fully aware of that, and the reason I picked Phantom was kind of like because I've always loved Supernatural, and the Grim Reaper thing sounded really cool.
Supernatural is the best.
But I don't think Saren knows for sure if it's for like evil purposes or not, and she's a little bit concerned, especially after the whole like I want tall thing, and she kind of I think she kind of gets the idea that it's just like a Grim Reaper like take their soul, move them on, but also she's not sure about his intentions.
Oh, 100%. I think as far as the Tall, like Tall was a very specific soul that he wanted to pick up.
Yeah.
And you get the feeling that if there is a judgment sort of area, I don't want to get that deep today, but if there was a judgment zone, Tall wouldn't see it. He's going.
Saren's gonna go to every town we go to. Saren's gonna go to nursing homes and be like,
oh my gosh, holy cow!
You're gonna have to play so many old people. Get ready, Joe.
Does Eldrin have any grandparents?
Probably.
Oh my god.
We all live we live 200 years in the there's probably a nursing home. We'll find one.
Man, I could say with full like that was not where I planned that character going. So do what you want, but that
I can just see Elder being like, all right, I have a plan. There's like these 5 old people. They're gonna die in the next like week. We have them travel with us, one a day.
Oh my god. Oh man.
And the only way she needs to sell it to us is either do this or you babysit my body until I find somebody you're okay with me killing.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Kayla, if you want to play the black cat at the foot of the hospital bed, by all means, go for it. I kind of pictured you more like Batman, but that's up to you.
I think I'll go with the Batman route. But
that's even better. Yeah, so don't involve Eldrin because Eldrin's like, all right, let's do this logically. These people are gonna die soon, so it makes the most sense.
All right. Cool. Okay, let's continue this on. Cool. Jamie.
Kudos to Lorianne. That was I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought to create that type of litmus test of like judging somebody's character. That was really cool. I'm still looking forward to, now that we're in a new day, a new start, as it were. We are looking at, we're able to see a little bit of the aftermath of all of this chaos. There's been a lot of times where we've caused chaos and solved problems, but left immediately or had to leave immediately. And I'm interested to see where, like, how we can be involved in the aftermath.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I love that. Very cool. I'm always trying to be careful of making sure that we're not spending a crazy amount of time on the and I've been very lax about it lately. So I've been trying, like, the fast forward was like kind of giving a little bit of like a hint of like we're gonna try to incorporate that a little more because we can get more important aspects happening in. But if you definitely want to roleplay that, yeah, let's do that. So that's cool.
I do have one question about the lycanthropium. Would that bump me to level 2, or is that like still down the line?
I mean, I think so, sir. I think that's cool. Yeah, absolutely, level 2 for sure.
Okay,
You did it.
I think you get choices. So you tell me what you pick out of those. Later, you don't need to tell me now.
Can I ask one more question real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
For the needing to get 1 soul a day thing, I think the trinket or token or whatever it's called, it's a creature that you can see that dies within 30 feet of you. So would that kind of fit that requirement? Like, I don't have to be the one that actually, like, kills the creature.
But you help send it along?
Yeah, so as long as I'm like, I mean, because obviously I didn't technically kill Darius, I just
you just
helped his soul move on. So would that kind of be the same idea?
That'd be cool, because that makes me think more of, I know Joey hasn't seen it, but more of the Sandman thing with one of Morpheus's siblings.
So if we're in like a big fight and Saren doesn't do the final blow, but she's there, can she be the one that like sends the soul on?
That'd be so cool seeing Saren walk up to that like dead body and be like helping them along. Like
I didn't know if that was the same like mechanic as getting the token. It's tokens of the departed. Soul trinket.
Yeah, I think there's no reason for me to say no to that as of right now. I'm trying to think of ways that can be abused, and I would say try not to bag of rats it, try not to abuse it. But yes, I don't think.
So it has to be 1 a day. It has to be 1 a day, and she can't just like bank them, right? Like it's not like, oh, I killed 2 today, so that counts for 2 days.
Correct.
Okay.
I can have like 4 soul trinkets, but I can't
multiple ones. So in that way, yes, bank them, but it doesn't.
But not like
as far as the
Venice up apart.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't say his name.
Don't say his name.
I realized he must be not named right after I gave that ruling. I was like,
oh, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I made sure I was muted because I had to stop myself from being like Harry Potter.
Yeah. But I do like it in a very non-Harry Potter way. It makes sense.
You know what? J.K. Rowling can't keep that as like, hers. It makes sense.
I'm just gonna say it did hurt me a little bit to make a Harry Potter reference because J.K. Rowling is awful, but
But you know what? Awful people can still create great worlds in fantasy. Now, I'm not saying great worlds in reality, but in fantasy.
100%.
Because I don't want anyone to twist that and be like, oh, so Hitler made a great world and just a world.
Michael Jackson's music.
No, he did not.
That's my hill to die on.
I've never been a really big Michael Jackson fan, but that's fine.
Unbelievable.
This is why you take all of my magic items.
Kudos to Kayla for being Angel of Death. Kudos to Milo for being sentient werewolf. That's pretty sick. Kudos to Lorianne for once again carrying the emotional weight of the session. Kudos to Joe for rolling a nat 20 on Jamie's sentience. And kudos to Miranda for having a really good poker face for all that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here, how we can recruit Anoria to be on our side and fight with us in the war against Tall, and also selfishly, like War trying to get, to start getting going down the path toward getting Celeste back.
I'm going to give a little hint forward that either it's possible we might get there next session. I'm not entirely sure.
Sure.
I'm going to give a little hint going forward. Mike, it might be time to write a speech, friend.
I can write a
'Cause I think
speech.
you're going to be the voice of that.
I can write a speech.
I like it.
I'd love to get your input on that going forward, just to, like, have
Eldrin can write a speech. She'll be great.
Yeah, I think Guar's the one for that.
I mean, I'm the queen, future queen. I think I can handle this.
Okay. Yeah, I think
I need a speech writer.
In full like understanding this, I think it makes sense to come from someone who is outside, but is also like
100%, yeah.
knows the dangers firsthand and is able to
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
because you also will have
think that's cool.
you will have the king and queen and obviously the princess literally backing you up in this. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can write the shit out of a speech.
That'll be
so
cool.
I'm not worried about that.
And I also knew that
Yeah.
Mike would really love to do that. So
Yeah.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, cool, gang. Well, we made it. Just a reminder, we're not going to be here next week.
I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez. Listen, this has been a Eldrin heavy session. I forgot. I apologize. Lauren,
I mean, at least
wanted to get
it's not just Miranda.
Yeah, you do to Miranda a lot.
listen, I hear her talk. All right.
Listen, I love her and I respect her.
If you think we don't have an hour-long kudos that is just me talking to her about what I loved about this session.
Yeah, I mean, I know you do, but we want to hear it, okay? We want to hear mom and dad love each other.
Yes, right.
Not in that way, but in a...
Right.
Anyway.
Anyways.
I don't like what I'm saying. I still have to work an hour and a half, guys, after this. So... Kudos to Saren and Wilbur, because that conversation you guys had at the beginning of the session was amazing, with Wilbur freaking the fuck out and Saren being like, but I saved you. It was great. I just really loved it because I feel like I think that, like Joe said at the beginning, that Saren and Wilbur have a deeper connection than they had before, even if they both don't realize it. I just thought that was really a beautiful moment of seeing that. And also Milo with the werewolf thing, thinking that it was going to be mistaken for a joke, and then it turned out to something much bigger, was great. And I'm really, really looking forward to the dynamic between, I guess, the entire party going forward, because Saren, I just think it's going to be very interesting. If it's not explained the right way to Eldrin, going forward with Saren, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. Because clerics are all about, like, smiting the undead. So it's going to be fun. But I think we can get there if it's, I think it'll be just interesting, and it'll be a very cool, dynamic of Eldrin and Saren's relationship. And also probably show Eldrin that things aren't as black and white as well, which is why I had Eldrin not do her rituals this morning, because she's struggling. So.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to dive into that next session for sure. Cool. Awesome, gang. Well, I was just going to say exactly what I said before. We did it. Awesome.
I won't say wow this
time. Next week. Well, we're not going to be here next week. But I just want to let you know how much I love you very much. Okay. Sorry. I apologize. One thing I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention it last week, so I have to mention it this week. I know. I see the glassy eyes. I get it. Real quick. You're going to love this. My present to you all, and I know this is kind of tricky because you know that you're supposed to be getting statues, and I've been dragging my feet on that for several reasons.
Several
My
weeks?
gift
You
to
mean months?
Yeah, several months. My gift to you all, and it will be coming, is your minis.
Oh, that's
So you all
exciting.
get. This isn't a copy. This is literally the mini we've been using for 2 years.
Oh my
and I think,
gosh.
yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for a remix, a little changeover. So not only that, you all get to change your characters on Hero Forge. Send me the file, and you will have a brand new mini for you, updated.
Ooh,
Awesome.
So
awesome.
I have a
so
quick question for Joe. Do you have the file for Lucia? Because like you printed them,
yeah, sure.
but I never like bought it myself. So I'm assuming you have it somehow.
I bought it.
I don't know. I
I'll
didn't
find
purchase it, so it's somewhere.
Joe just loves
So I'll
throwing
find
money.
They're like on sale right now, and I was gonna buy it, and I'm like, wait, I have one on my desk, so somebody has a file, and it's
Yeah,
not me.
Okay. If it's me, I'll find it.
Cool.
But yeah, absolutely. So another reason why it's a good time to do it. We want to do that now. So we'll say we're going to be gone all of next week. We'll say if you guys can have it by Saturday of next week, just in case, and feel free to ask my input as we go along. Also, I have a pro account too, so if there's something where you're like, I don't like how this fits or how this goes. There's something that doesn't seem like 100% what I want. I might have aspects. I might have other things that I could do. So feel free to shout it out.
Cool.
But
Cool.
awesome, gang.
Thanks.
Well, I love
Thank
you
you.
all. Please be safe. I will see you in a couple weeks. Mike, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.